We're back again. Another Red Lion Live. What are you saying? So this is gonna be full of energy. Alan looks like he's shrouded in darkness there.
I know.
Like 2 episodes of Mandalorian, and he's just gone all space like. It's great.
Yeah.
Anywho, welcome to Red Lion Live. I'm Nicky Dixon, and once again joined by my co-hosts,
Mike.
the disrespected good.
Yeah, because I am constantly disrespected. I've got stories to tell in a bit from what happened this last weekend. I'm guessing you're both gonna find. Alan already knows a bit about it,
right?
So he'll find it hilarious. But we'll get into that in a bit. But it's about me being disrespected.
Yeah, I feel like you know something about it.
Right, good. And thou shalt be thankful for wine.
Always.
Ow, the talent. What are you saying?
I'm dead good, mate.
Good?
Dead good, he's got wine.
I'm dead good. I was if we was going to do this yesterday, I was stupidly contemplating not drinking. And then wine.
Perfect. I have no arguments with any of that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So if this is your first time tuning in, basically Red Line Live, bunch of geeks, all of us with, I guess, various different opinions on the same things that we love. So we talk about a whole bunch of random shit. So at the moment we're talking about The Last of Us. If you're not watching it, why not? Fucking Basement Dweller. If you are watching it, then tell us what you think. And we're also talking about The Mandalorian as well. We are Star Wars fans, I would say that. Yeah, we are fans of Star Wars. We love it and we hate it at the same time, but we hate it because
like all good Star Wars fans.
Like all good
every good Star Wars fans. Yeah, like every good Star Wars fan loves a bit of it and fucking detests it at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. But not like all Star Wars fans. We do not hate it for the race of the actors or sex or
just for bad choices
or just anything like that. Yeah. We actually hate it usually because of the story or something there within the story, nothing else. So if you're one of those races, if you're watching this going, "Oh my god, they're about to say what I think," then no. You can tune out. You can tune out because we're not about to go there. That's not what we think. So this week, but there's some proper dickheads that are going to watch this. Like, "Oh my god, they're about to say it. They're going to be about to say about the Asian chick that was in it. She was rubbish. She was the worst because she was Asian." Yeah, but they have no problem with the Phantom Menace. No problem with the Phantom Menace. That film is full of racism. Oh my god!
What? He's drinking red wine.
Nasty bastard.
Looks like he's drinking Coke de Rona or something like that there, but I've not got that.
No, it's the one from Chile, isn't it? I can't remember the fucking name of it. It's quite nice though.
Yeah, Del Diablo.
Diablo, yeah.
Castellano or something, Del Diablo. It's the official sponsor of, it was the official sponsor of Man United for a while, wasn't it? That's why. Let's not talk about that for a second. No. If you do want to talk or watch anything to do with football and stuff like that, tune in to the good people at Sarcasm City. They've got a show pretty much every single hour of the week. Flawless putting in that work. So shout out to everyone in Sarcasm City. If you are a fan of football or you want to get into it or whatever, they break things down pretty well, but it is football heavy. So if you're looking for, wow, Alan, you've just gone from wine to something.
I didn't mean.
You look like you're in the film The Passengers. It's just, yeah.
See, I was going to say it looks like you're looking through someone's eyes after a bottle of wine. Everything's kind of hazy.
Yeah.
But it kind of looks passable.
Yeah. I didn't mean to blur the background of my screen. I was just.
Do you know what it looks like? Do you know when they just wake up from the hibernation kind of chambers in Aliens? and it can, that kind of weird, blurry background thing that they get there. That's what it looked like. You should have kept it.
Yeah, nah. I hate what it does to the sides of my head. It kind of cuts off the sides and the top, and I've already not got a massive head, so it just makes it look like some sort of weird pea head. Like
one of the creatures from the Super Mario's 90s movie. Yeah, one of those.
I mean, I was thinking more like a cotton wool, like thingy for your ears.
Oh yeah, cotton wool.
Yeah,
that's what Americans call them. I don't know what we call them over there.
Cotton Buds.
Cotton Buds.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And which is now your new nickname, Cotton Bud.
Yeah.
Cotton Buds.
Right.
Like
yeah.
Sounds sexy.
Yeah, it's true. It does sound a bit racist as well.
That's what I was going to say.
If there was like, if everything that happened in kind of like, the slave times was like backwards, so it was all the black folk kind of making white folk pick cotton. That's what we'll call you instead of the N word. We're like, hey, Cotton Bud, you ain't picking fast enough, Cotton Bud. Yeah, Cotty. They'll call you Cotty for short. Hey, Cotty, get your ass in gear, Cotty. Hey, we don't like Cotties in this bar, right? I'm
I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very weird, very odd.
Go on. It's my burn.
What?
Yeah, what you just did.
That was very weird. Very okay. Cool. Well, that's what Alan doesn't like. Alan can't contemplate anything bad happening to white folks. But it's like talk to him about slavery. Yeah, sure.
Why would bad things happen to white folks?
Yeah, like, exactly. He just can't. That's why he doesn't understand the joke. Yeah,
totally innocent throughout history.
He's like Nick. I can kind of understand what you're saying, but I'm just not seeing it. Yeah. White people being oppressed, never gonna happen. No, never gonna happen. I'm drinking salted caramel stout from M&S. I was saying to the boys earlier, salted caramel billionaire or stout didn't take my fancy. 6% did though. So we'll see how I get along with that. You'll know because the jokes will get slightly wilder than they are at the moment. So as I say at the start of before every episode, if you don't like the jokes that you're hearing now, this ain't for you, Cotton Bud. Right.
That is definitely going to stick. I'm just saying. That is going to go around the globe. White people are going to get so offended about absolutely nothing. And it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Crackers are now gone. It's done to be replaced by Cotton Bud.
Cotton Bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
what if you was a basement dwelling Cotton Bud though? I mean,
that's like the worst type of folk.
That's like that's like a perfect storm of all the things you don't want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. Imagine that as an insult. You basement dwelling Cotton Bud. Yeah, I mean that is like the worst.
Gonna work, bro.
Yeah. It is just offensive on every level. Right. So I'm drinking this. Mike, what are you drinking?
So, well, it's a take on the Boulevardier, but I've not used bourbon or rye. I've used this Scotch. I can't pronounce it because if I did, it would sound like an insult, I'm guessing, to the Scottish. That Campari, and then I made a sweet vermouth infused with dried mushrooms, and it's lovely. Like, I'm genuinely impressed by it. I'm just going to carry on drinking this and maybe not even talk for the rest of this now. Just keep on just making more and more cocktails at the end, just like blurt cunt and then fall over.
Fantastic. To be honest, it sounds like a standard kind of Red Lion episode. Yeah. Shout out to Premier Battle as well. They've got an event on All the Smoke this weekend. I think they're probably still tickets for £5 playing at somewhere in Manchester.
Make sure. Is it off the street? Off the street, off
the wall. I don't know. One of them.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's definitely something. This is why we don't do this much. Make sure you go and follow the Premier Battles page. Also, Sarcasm City, as I started to say earlier. Also, the thing that Linda's doing. What's that called?
Rita TV. Something like that.
These are good friends of ours, by the way.
Oh, they are.
We're not just shouting at random people. And it's
in fairness, I did only start River TV. Rive TV. RIVEPEA TV. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Rive T. Whatever.
V. Great. What happened to the V? The V just went missing from the last one completely. Yeah. Rive T.
Right. RIV. I've got it on my fucking Insta. Wow. There she is. Look at her, the beautiful bastard. But yeah, I'd seen a thing about Prem the other day about All the Smoke, and I on my Insta, and I can't for the life of me find it. That's what I had gone on then while I was looking for that. You mentioned Linda, so
Yeah, you got distracted, as everyone should when we talk about Linda.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and who else? Oh, I want to shout out as well the Grail. Although we're not friends with them, I've done a couple of whiskey tastings with those guys. Anyone that's following us, probably from Manchester, we know. But if you're not, and you are from Callander in Scotland, then make sure you do, or if you're planning to take a trip up to Scotland, make sure you do frequent the Grail, as they do amazing whiskey tasting. They literally just won an award, which is something that I'm dragging out at the moment, which I'm going to tell you in a second when I find it.
They got a wee article. They got a wee article in the Scottish Field.
Yeah, they won the People's Choice Drinks Award, SF, in the Scottish Field. To be honest, we've not won any awards, so hats off to them. Anyone that we kind of associate with that wins any awards needs, shouting about. Yes, Mike.
I've won awards.
What did you win?
This is Man of the Match, Monson versus Bolton from the 10th of June 1994.
Is that some kind of cricket ball that I see there?
Yes.
Cricket, I see. All right.
And from the 18th of August 1995, I broke a bail when I was playing against Keswick.
Oh, fantastic!
Nice.
There you go.
Brilliant. Mike, shout outs to Mike.
I've also won the handsomest fat guy award.
Oh yeah.
For like the last 4 years running, but we don't really make a big deal.
No, we don't make a big deal out of that because that's just a standard.
My ego in it, like you don't want to blow that up.
Yeah, exactly. We don't. Just only human, still a man. Is what we whisper to him every day. Right. So
just while we're on it, the All the Smoke event is at Off the Square, Manchester.
Square. We're close. We said street and wall, and
doors 12 till 6.
Great stuff. Right.
Pop on down.
Pop on. Yes. Yeah. Make sure you go see it.
Civilized afternoon where no one's going to get called a cunt.
No.
Or slapped.
Never happens.
Never happens.
That never happens. No one gets slapped.
Never happens.
Nope.
All right. Okay. Right. Let's get to it. So. What should we talk about first? Should we go with The Last of Us first?
Yeah.
Let's talk about The Last of Us. Okay, cool. So, if you've not watched this before, I wouldn't say I'm a Last of Us enthusiast. I mean, some would call me like the Jesus of The Last of Us. I wouldn't, but some would. And who am I to call those people wrong? So let's just call me the Jesus of The Last of Us. So I played the game, very knowledgeable. Who are we to discredit what other people think? Yeah.
I mean, I prefer the term Messiah of The Last of Us, but that's just me personally.
I mean, I don't think of myself like that. So whatever you guys want to call me, Messiah, Jesus, the God, Lord, whatever, it's fine. So I've played. I really enjoyed the first game. I played it many times. I played the second game once. We'll get into that later. And so I was very apprehensive about this series from episode 1 up until this point. And my general conciseness is that the series is good. I'm enjoying it. It holds true to the game and a lot of elements, but there's a lot taken out of it that I do miss. But I can't fault it. That's where I am so far. Mike has also. We'll go to Alan. So we'll go to Across the Fence. So Alan has played the game a couple of times. Enjoyed the game. It was a little bit okay. It's just gone. He didn't enjoy the game. So enjoyed the game.
I didn't enjoy the game. Sorry, I'm just sorting some plugs out. So I thought I won't be fucking unprofessional because I got doctors the other week.
No, it was the perfect time to do it as well. Well, I mentioned you. So that was great. Thanks for that. Yeah. It was like all the time when we was talking about like shout outs and things like that where this could have been done. But no. Now was a great time. So Alan, he's played the game. He can't remember his bits of it. But we're watching the what the fuck?
All right.
Just mute it. Just mute it.
Mute yourself, bro.
Why?
It's done now. It was me back coming up. Do
you know what? I'll start again. Alan can go suck a dick. Alan can go suck a dick. That's what it was with The Last of Us. And Mike has never played the game. So he's seeing everything brand new, virgin eyes. innocent as he is, baby faced, gorgeous man. So yeah, he's just enjoying, going with the flow and enjoying or not, the episodes. Al, you'll usually remember what happens on kind of on a scene by scene basis. Do you want to give us the breakdown of the last one?
Yeah. So I didn't drink, but it's been a minute. So right, what happened?
Usually this goes better. Would you like me to take this one? Do you want me to?
No, it's fine. So it picks up sort of where the last episode left off in terms of like Joel's still stabbed up. Ellie's managed to drag him to an house off in the where back and beyond the fucking arse end of nowhere. Obviously winter's fully setting. She's trying to look after him. Pretty much just trying to keep him warm. Fuck all food. She decides to go hunting. And on her little hunting trip, she meets some folk, some nice gentlemen who want to take her fresh kill. And she decides to swap that fresh kill, or at least half of it, for some penicillin. And then during what is one of the most uncomfortably sinister conversations that I've ever fucking watched, you find out that this bloke who she's met knows who she is, that knows that she's with Joel, that there is sort of a reveal that the guy who stabbed Joel and got his neck snapped like the week prior, or the week before last, was from his town. Like, you see a bit about the town. This little girl's striking because her dad's the one who's got his neck snapped. Yeah, and then it kind of escalates from there. Ellie fucks off back to Joel. She gets the penicillin. She fucks off back, and then they kind of go looking for her, and it all just goes sideways then. She tries to lead him away. He gets picked up. She gets picked up, dragged back, and then she just goes fantastically, like just the best version of Ella you'll ever see. Just great, really fucking really dark, really.
What does she do? So
you find out sort of through. I don't want to break it down too much, but you find out that basically they're not. It's weird. I've seen it on loads of things say that it's very odd that a horror show about infected people, or essentially zombies, even though they're not zombies, but infected people, and the scariest thing about it is still a religious white man. That is fucking accurate, because he is the most horrible cunt. And this is the bit of, like I've been saying right since it kicked off, this is the bit of the story where I said I knew it was going to be really, really dark, and I wanted him to have the balls to do it properly. They absolutely did. So you find out he's not just a preacher that's formed this essentially a cult. He's eating folk that just die, including the guy who's Joel's neck snapped. You watch him feed that bloke to his own daughter, who's still really fucking upset that her dad's just died, and to boot, he gives her a slap for answering him back. Then you find out that before he was a preacher and this cult leader, he was a teacher in a school, and he's very definitely a nonce. Mate, it's just like it's level on level on level of high. It's level on level and level of fucking horribleness. Like, he is the worst kind of person. Acted fantastically well. I really liked that the guy who's in it, who Ellie sticks in the neck, when she's on the table and like that girder. He's the original voice of Joel in the games. So that actor is the guy who played Joel, which I really liked. I thought that was like a really, really nice touch, and he can clearly act as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this preacher guy comes on to her, basically wants her to be like his little child bride. So she fucking snaps his fingers. It's fantastic work. They decide they're going to eat her. She sticks one of them in the neck with a big fucking knife by kind of playing on the infected card. And they kind of believe her for a minute that she's infected, and she's bit him as well as snaps his finger. and then she kind of fucks off, runs away, and it's like a little bit of a cat and mouse game within like it's like a mess hall or like a restaurant that they've got in the town where she's kind of running away from him and he's trying to
steakhouse.
Yeah, there you go. And then eventually they have a fucking scrap. Now it's slightly different to in the game. So in the game, she really loses her shit, and Joel comes in and pulls her off. And this guy's just like next to dead, like basically dead. He's a mess. But she obviously in this, she gets to a point where she winds down herself. She kind of snaps herself out of it, and then she's in shock a little bit and wanders out. And then you get the most almost heartbreaking scene with her and Joel outside, which is like a complete parallel to the way he was with Sarah at the beginning. Like in terms of calling a baby girl, the comparison of the shot, the fact that his watch is in the shot, like everything about the scene is like a direct. It's kind of bookended this relationship with Joel and Ellie to go right. Well, now she's his daughter, and now she sees him as her dad. Like that bond's sort of complete now. But yeah, I just think similar to episode 3, from start to finish for me, I struggled to pick. I would struggle to pick anything out of it, even being really picky, that I didn't really fucking appreciate, that I didn't really like. I would have liked it to have maybe been about 5 or 10 minutes longer. But other than that, it was almost a perfect episode of telly. I fucking loved it. And it was, like I say, it's the part of the game that I was really, really waiting for, really wanted to see done really, really well. And the acting of Bella Ramsey, again, I mean, fuck me. That kid's got chops on her, like, you know what I mean? So we saw her in Game of Thrones when she was tiny, like this little kid that just didn't look like she could reach. She sort of thought she was all right. She was a kid. But fucking hell, like, it's frightening how good she is.
Did she kill a giant or something in Game of Thrones? She was pretty badass.
Fuck knows. I just remember her giving John a speech and being the only one with the big enough balls to just go, whoa. Oh, right, okay. Right, okay. Yeah, I thought.
Hey, girl.
Hiya. Yeah, I thought maybe him calling a baby girl, just at least you hearing him say, "It's okay, baby girl," might have done something very special to you, Vic. So I did think of you at that moment.
Let's not get on to that. We literally had that was literally the whole of the last episode. Mike, what did you think of this?
Right, so this was a big jump forward from the last 2 episodes for me. I genuinely enjoyed this in all its horrible glory. Right, so horrible start. Joel's basically dead. She's melting snow to give him water, like, and putting it in his mouth and stuff, and tearing up the last bit of the rations. It was horribly bleak. Loved it. She went out hunting. The first part before she kills the deer, when she sees the rabbit and she fucking smashes her face off the floor. Quality. Loved it. Laughed my little ass off. Thought it was just dead. Joe, just to break up the tension, what had been building, Joe, that little thing, and then she eventually sees the big fucking buck, the deer, pops it. It runs off, and then the 2 guys from the town find it. She sneaks up on him. They know that she's a good hunter because they didn't hear her coming. And then there's a very tense exchange. And I mean tense exchange where he was bartering food for drugs, which you knew a double cross was coming anyway because he is a creepy man without even knowing, like, he's Joe. A weird cult leader.
That's one thing I wanted to ask. Did you already know, like, kind of how this would go, how this episode?
No. This took me a little bit. I was like, I was expecting to be difficult subjects coming up. I wasn't expecting Nancy cannibals, right? Because that's what it was. It was. Right, so when you see him in that steakhouse the first time and he's giving the speeches, the big banner up, I was like, oh shit, my guy thinks he's in Jonestown. I definitely thought he was going to kill them all off with the Kool-Aid, Joe, because they were starving or something and start eating the bodies. 100% thought that. And then after he comes back, Joe, with the deer and stuff, but you've already seen more meat being cut up and given out to people before the days arrived, and he's like, "Oh, they definitely are just eating people to stay alive." Fair enough. And when he's talking inside, I was like, it feels a little bit. It feels a little bit like Dave Koresh, Joe, the guy from Waco, just because it's that weird born again Christian stuff like that, where he's spinning his own versions of it to make him. He's not come out and said that he's Joe. What's it, a prophet or anything as of yet, but he's basically saying, "Look, I'm the leader because I know everything." So it reminded me of that a lot. Then when she goes, it flashes back to Ellie looking after Joel, and she's got the penicillin. She doesn't know what to do with it. She's just put it into the wound in that big syringe. It made me feel physically sick, like that pain, and just like, oh no, like the torture in her face because she was confused about what she had to do and stuff as well. Just incredible, like incredible acting, like especially when you're playing off someone who's trying to show zero, giving you nothing back, to be able to just put that out there. It's wild. The scene, what really got me though, was after this, when she's been captured after like a little shootout trying to lead him away and stuff, and the rest of them go to look for him, go to look through all the houses to find Joel, and she's give Joel that knife, and she said, if anyone comes down here, kill him. And this is the first time I've seen Joel being, oh, he's basically dead, but oh, that is a scary man. That is not only a scary man, that is a scary man who's looking for his daughter. Like, and that was great. Just, and then all of the nonsense in the scene after, when she's locked up in that cage, snaps the fingers like you was talking about before, then they're gonna kill her to eat her. Big knife in the neck. Just outstanding television. Like that part of that episode, like you said, I would have loved another 10 minutes just to drag that part out a little bit more. The fact that the steakhouse gets burnt down and the guy doesn't care and he's just focused on her is extra fucking creepy. Like it made me just little shudders, like people are scum. And people what are using.
It made you hate people even more.
And people what use religion to get ahead.
Yeah.
Like, and they blatantly don't believe anything they're saying. They're just doing it because they're power mad. It's so many commentaries on people that I would be like, yeah, but that's just what every church is like.
Yeah. That's what's made a lot of the fucking season really, really good. It's that relatable part where you can absolutely believe that
this is happening.
Or it could happen. Yeah.
Everywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's happening all over the fucking country, all over the world. There are people like that in existence now. About it. It's fucking frightening. Horrible.
So after that part, then Joel's out and about, still basically fucking dead, just murking people, just being literally the back. My guy is Solid Snake. I don't care what anyone says. He is Solid Snake. Like, he could be basically dead, but he's gonna murk everyone by doing it as silently as possible. And then the baby girl stuff happened, and I was like, isn't that what he called his daughter? Like, as soon as he said it, like in a split, and I was like, oh, that's so nice. That's a nice little bow, like on this like absolute horror show of what you've had for like 35 minutes. Just like this little bit of light in there, and it was great.
I never ever would have thought I would have heard Mike say the word "that's a nice little bow" on this. It's this has brought out something different in you, Mike.
Yeah, it's because the episode is just the season itself is a gift.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not that. It's when it's the episode. The rest of a lot of the episodes have struggled to get as dark as this. So when you have this little bit of light, it restores your faith a little bit more in Joe. People can be horrible, but also the most loving at the same time. Like it is a beautiful, like, you've got episode 2, which was just incredibly emotionally heartbreaking but lovely at the same time. But this was like the counter to that, where it was as horrible, but to have that same effect at the end. Like you saw the worst in humanity, like paedophile cannibals in the fucking tundra, as Nick liked to put it last time. Like, and then to be something what is so just incredibly like familiar. Like, if I don't have kids, so I can't say anything like though. Like, if you lost your kid in like a shopping mall or something like that, and then you found them, that type of relief. It felt like something what every person would have felt at some point.
Yeah.
Joe, like just, lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Just
right,
but horribly non-safe for the rest of the episode.
Let me break this down. This episode had my favorite scene in it, which you guys haven't even spoken about briefly. I haven't really spoken about, but has my favorite scene, which is like for like in the game. And I said right at the beginning, this scene has to be like for like, and they did it verbally, action-wise, physically. IGN put out a still of the game and this, and it's almost perfect timing, even just with the way they move. The torture scene with Joel. This is like in the game, you do you kill a lot of people, you fight a lot of people, you kill a lot of infected. As Joel, you do some terrible things and to kind of survive. So you already know that Joel's quite a brutal guy. In the series, you don't see it until this point. And part of me is kind of like, right, I kind of get it. Right, this is why, because it made this scene so much stronger. And again, like the scene with the guys tied up in the chair. So he keeps these two guys alive. He's beating the shit out of one guy. He goes to the other guy in the chair. He stabs him in the leg. He says, he goes, tell me what I want to hear. I'm going to pop off your kneecap. Like for like in the game. The guy's shouting, I don't know where she is, blah, blah, blah. Twists the knife in his leg. You feel everything. Again, just like the game. Paul, this is the scene that I wanted them to get right. And they do it. Takes out the knife, shoves it in, handle first into his mouth. Says, point at where we are and point at where they are. And if it's not what this guy said, and it better be the same place as what I'm going to ask your buddy. The buddy obviously can't see what he's pointing at. So he does it, kills the guy, and the guy on the floor is going, why'd you do that? What the fuck? I'm not going to tell you shit. Before Joel picks up a pole and says, don't worry, I believed him, and smacks the guy. This is exactly how it plays out in the game. And it is one of my favorite moments in that. We've picked out loads of moments what I love in the game. This was it. And this is like, I mean, I knew what was happening, like everything that you guys said to the main villain in this game, to Eddie's badassness, everything. I knew this was coming, and I knew, and from the fire and such that we saw in the teaser at the end of the last one, I knew it was going to be like for like. Even when I saw the died in the teaser, I was like, yeah, that looked exactly the same. Like when she's crawling and crouching, it looks exactly as it does in the game. So I was expecting this. It was still good and it still hit home, but I was expecting this. I was watching out for this scene. This is the scene I was waiting for. Everything else was kind of like, let's just get to this scene. I know what's going to happen. This is what I need to be perfect, because this is literally one of the most badass Joel moments in the whole thing. It's one of those moments in the game where when he clubs the guy, it just kind of goes to black. You kind of see the guy's head move and brain splat, and then it just goes to black. And it's one of those moments where you're just like, fuck, like that is unbelievable. Like, and especially because of you almost forget it. Most of the time you're fighting infected. So, and because you've got that lovely kind of, to and fro with Joel and Eddie as you're traveling, which unfortunately you don't get a lot of in this season, you forget that he's like this. You're kind of playing him yourself, and it's more like you're like this. You want to shoot people and beat the shit out of people, but then you get the hearty niceness with Joel and Eddie, and it's the one cutscene where you go, actually, Joel's a bit of a bad lass, just like he ain't even hurt line when he puts on the seatbelt and runs over the guy. Just these little moments of actually this guy's fucking brutal. Like he does not give a fuck. And that scene for me, like it was beautiful. I cannot fault that. That is what made this episode for me personally. It was one of my favorite moments in the game. It's one of my favorite moments in this episode. It's not to take away from everything else that happens in this episode, because it was brilliantly acted. It was beautifully shot. The scene looked amazing. The main villain was sinister as fuck and nonsense as fuck. In fact, I was, I think in the game, I didn't really pick out the nonciness really until the end when he was actually fighting Ellie. In the series, it was very apparent. It was very, it was, and like you say, it was actually very uncomfortable to watch. You were kind of like, "Fuck, Jesus Christ!" Even how he was reacting with the other girl that was there, that was coming to be his daughter. You're like, and the way she looked at him. You know what I mean? There was something just wrong about everything that was happening there. And to do that without saying much. The stroke of her cheek, to her wincing back, to, the look on the mother's expression. It was just everything. Everything was beautifully done by everyone involved. And it just left you with that really cold, disturbed feeling like this is not okay. Everything that he's saying and how he's acting, even when he's reading, he goes, I'm sick and tired, I can't keep reading this verse, or I'm sick and tired of reading this verse, or something along those lines. He can't keep saying it. And then he just goes off script. Even then, this is the moment of, him talking to his congregation, as it were, as a human being. But you just know it's not right. This is very cultish atmosphere. There's something dark about this, and the words that he says should be comforting. So why does it feel so off? It's that they've captured so magically in this that makes it all real. Throw Ellie and Joel into the mix, like you say, dying Joel, like Ellie desperately trying to, keep him alive and not really knowing what she's doing, like Joel just being an absolute badass, taking out those guys, like still like he was half dead and he's just taking people out. Again, I suppose this is probably my only criticism of it. I feel like doing that would have been okay, right. I've kind of answered my own argument to an extent, but what I was going to say is, if we had a little bit more of Joel doing this, it would have been easier to digest that he could do something like this in this episode. So like literally get up from being dead a second ago to beat and torture these guys and go to rescue Ellie. My argument to myself was perhaps what the directors and writers wanted to enforce in this series, in this episode, was perhaps it was him trying to get back to Ellie that gave him the strength more than this is who he is. So that
parental love.
Yeah, exactly, like the love.
Yeah,
Go on.
Yeah, I think they've drawn a comparison as well between. So do you remember when Joel gets pinned down and Ellie saves him?
Yeah.
Like there isn't that. So they've shown that there wasn't really that fight in Joel when he's trying to save his own life. Yeah. But for Ella, he literally just pops a med kit and fucking rolls from the dead.
Yeah.
Like
pops a med kit.
He's just put like he's done whatever he needed to do, regardless of how hurt. And I enjoyed that they didn't include him going into the burning building to pull the guy off Ella, because it was like, well, he's just not got the energy to do that.
Yeah,
he's killed a couple of folk. He's tired now. Let's give him a rest and let's just let her fucking deal with it herself. Like I enjoyed that they'd done that as well. It just made more sense for me.
Made her feel a lot more threatening. Like she's always had that little bit of an edge to her. But this is the time I was like, oh, she could survive. Like Joe, decently. Joe, maybe not in winter, but like spring, summer, she'd get by. Yeah, I've got enough. But dead of winter, maybe not. Like, but I never felt that before. Yeah. Like, never really. But like after this episode, I was like, she's either learning from Joel, or she's always had this part of her what we haven't known about. Joe, that little bit more steel.
Yeah.
I think what they're I think Morley, what they're trying to do is nope, never mind. I don't feel there's any way that I could have said that without it being slightly spoiler-esque. So I'll ignore that comment.
Oh, okay.
I think what we got here was literally like, I guess it's more kind of we know that, like, her breaking point, you know that she talks a big game and kind of a bark's worse than a bite. But I think in this point we saw that actually, that's her limit. You know what I mean? Like she had enough. This guy was just revolting. He was disgusting. And each cut that she made into him with that was almost, and it should have been horrible, but it was almost relief. It was, I wanted her to do it again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was really, there was no wincing at this. It was necessary, If it was the other way around, each cut would have been horrible. It would have been mutilation. It would have been distressing to watch. With her doing it, for some reason, you get relief after each slice. You know, you feel good about it. And it's and I feel like, and what it does is it really cleverly dissolves that tension that's been building up for the whole of the episode, that unease, the feeling of darkness. It becomes apparent there in that diner, and each time she cuts it, it's like a little kind of, you know, it's like a pin in a balloon. You know, it just kind of slowly lowers it. So it's but I again, I rate this episode for giving me the moment that I truly wanted without changing anything. You know, like even just a little bit in the script. They did it like for like. It was what it was, and that was it. Because again, it's one of those scenes that was just perfect in the game, and I'm so glad because they could have gone another way with it. And I'm so glad they utilized it so well in this. And like when I say, anyone watching this that has seen the last episode, but hasn't played the game. I'd say play the game. Once you've played it, you know, like just watch that scene, and you will see the differences as, you know, lighting perhaps, you know, slightly darker in the game or whatever. But it is literally just a like for like, and just as brutal. And I loved it. I was there for it. As soon as the poll hit, I was up. I was like, thank you. Like like when Alan referred to it as a gift and you say Bo, like, yes, it was a fucking gift. It was brilliant. I was like, perfect. There he is. That's the Joel that we want to see. That's the Joel that I remember. He's back. You know, I loved it. So yeah, like hats off, man. It was, for me, this episode definitely was a 10. If we had to rate it, I think it was just one of those episodes that I'd probably go back and watch, like episode 3. I'll just watch it back and just really enjoy it, because it was this one again gave us a little bit of everything, which is The Last of Us. It gave us drama, it gave us action, gave us horror. You know, despite there being no action infected in this, which was incredible, apart from Ellie. These are the elements that make up The Last of Us, is in the game at least. So I feel like this episode gave us all of that. So yeah, incredible stuff.
Yeah. No Walking Dead vibes this week, which was a big relief for me, because I was worried that it was going to be going more that way. But no Walking Dead vibes, like, at all. Yeah. It's very much its own show with its own very disturbed sensibilities. I love it. This episode was great. Like, it's up there, top 3. Like, it's third episode, first episode, then this probably for me so far. Like,
I think 3 in this for me, and then kind of just like a weird mixture of any of the others. Really. Like, they're all kind of a similar level.
I think I'm with Mike on this one. Yeah, so I would go third this and then first episode.
They've all got, and they're all very different.
Yeah,
but they've all very impactful. Like, it's
I like. Then I go to the like this third episode, this first and second episode. For me, just because the clickers, you know, show more. Like, we have not got enough. That's one of my biggest like criticisms of this series. The clickers feature so much more, and the reason why we know their names is because they were the most frustrating yet rewarding things to kill, and and spores, for fuck's sake. The reason in part of me understands why they didn't use spores, because they didn't really have to a great deal in this. But I feel like, again, missed a trick, because that's one thing that this could have used more of, because it's all there. You know, you'd forget in this episode there are fucking infected running about the place. You know what I mean? That there was, this game is essentially a horror, and I feel like the series is more of a drama. And I feel like they should have utilized a lot more of the horror element, which is there for them. So the guys they wanted to tell a story. I get it. They wanted to, get from A to B and tell the story of, a guy who's lost someone, who's rebuilding this relationship. That's essentially what it's about, and that's what the game's about. But a little bit more horror in there, because they have the tools, they have the elements, they have the story. Do it like you've done all the other episodes. Just utilize some of that, some of what's in the game onto live action. I think it would probably be the perfect series for me. But yeah, enjoying it so far. Like I always say every week, The worst thing about this is I want more of it, which isn't a bad thing.
Exactly.
So yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else? Any other points on this?
I can't wait. How many more episodes we got left? Is it 2 or is it 1?
1.
Just the 1. Right, yeah. So I'm expecting absolute horror shows in the next episode.
This is a really good thing. Yeah. I feel like this is a good question to ask. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, I couldn't fucking tell you. I have no fucking clue. Like, it's one of the things where I haven't had a lot of thoughts about what could happen. I've not been watching the weekly trailers like all throughout the whole thing. I kept my intake of information about this show down to when I'm watching it once, like when we all watch it kind of thing, and then I won't watch anything else. I won't watch any breakdowns. I won't watch the next week's trailers because I want to go in cold.
Yeah.
And I feel and that has given me the ability to just turn off up until that point where I want to watch it again. Like, I'm not overthinking it because I feel like if I try to overthink this, I'll build it up too much in my own head.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I'd always want bigger and more violence and more infected, like that, and it'll run away from me. And this show's been so weirdly the anti of whatever. If you two was asked to ask me to make this, it would turn out a lot differently, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
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 So I've not been able to keep track of where I think every episode's going, and it's been brilliant for me, to be honest. Like I said, there's a bunch of episodes where I'm like, oh, I wish it was just 10, 20 minutes longer. So it's not like it's a bad thing. Yeah, it's not like it's a bad thing. I just wish I had more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably the concisest, dare I say. We all want a little bit more. You know, we just want just a tiny bit more of it.
Yeah, I feel like we got spoiled a little bit with that third episode because I'm sure that was about 1 hour 20, something like that.
Yeah.
Like fucking long, but didn't feel at all longer than any of it just felt enough. That was appropriate. Whereas, like you said, the others could have done with an extra 5 or 10 minutes. Next week could go either way for me. It could really fucking go off the end of a cliff and be really very, very short. Or it could be really good, like this week. It really, really fucking depends.
There's no... Yeah, for next week, there's no... There's no... I don't know what the word is. There's nothing really that I'm looking forward to seeing next week.
Expectations.
I'm not looking. What I would like is to be surprised by the ending, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially with what happens next. I feel like there's a path that they kind of have to follow now, depending on whether they're going to go straight to the next game or not. Either way, it's going to go down the same route. And I feel like we've got glimpses of how it's going to go already in this season. So I feel like, for me, I'm not really expecting to be like wowed in the next episode. I expect the next episode to wrap it up.
I would say I am expecting the Fireflies to show up and be massive bellends, just as an overarching thing. Like, Fireflies are going to turn out to be just as bad as Fedra. Like, just as a standpoint from what we've witnessed so far in this season.
Okay. I think that's yeah, okay. Well, anyways, I'm not going to comment on that. I feel like that's a very interesting. Yeah, no, I think that's an interesting point. Okay, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to having the conversation next week. I'm kind of looking forward to you watching the next episode, Mike, and maybe getting your take of what you think's coming up, I guess, more than anything. But yeah, like I say, I'm looking forward. I think it's going to go exactly, especially I did watch the clip for next week at the end of this one, and I think it's going to go how it's going to go, how it goes in the game. But I think it's going to be a good episode. I think it's going to it is going to answer a lot of questions, but I just don't think it's going to be anything amazing. It's not going to be one of our top. But again, you know, I was wrong about this whole season. Yeah, to be honest,
It's wrong sometimes.
In fairness, though, like the biggest thing, the fear that I had about from the start of this season, which I even stated, was that I like Mike, you're enjoying the season, right? You enjoy it because of the story, you enjoy it because of how it's acted, and blah blah blah. Okay, cool. So it's almost the equivalent of someone doing it again, like like this season. You know, I guess the default would be why, you know, they did so well on this one, like not a remake. No, not a not a sequel, not a prequel, just a remake of this. And like naturally, anyone's going to be skeptical about it because this is going to be quite hard to beat. Why would you do it? The story's perfect. What are you going to do that's different? And that was my theory on the game, basically. And exactly how it's like you watching this for the first time. It's me playing the game, like for the first time or second or whatever. You know, I know the story inside out. I know what happens. Like, you know, and for me, the story is perfect. It's a 10 out of 10 game, and as much as the gameplay as well. But the story is what captivated me from this. So when they said they're going to do a live action, my first thing is can never be as good as the game, which means it's going to be worse. And instead, then the thing that surprised me is it's like there was someone that had exactly my mentality that was in the boardroom when discussing how they're going to do this season. And that person just said, just do the game. And they were like, yeah, okay. Because you've got a fucking perfect story. And then they just went, yeah, fine. But like, not just don't do the game. Like everything has to look like the game. The set needs to be designed exactly as the game was, to the smallest detail, to the tiniest Easter egg for fans. And the actors need to do it justice, to absolute perfection. They need to study these characters, how they move, some of their sayings, what they say. The action sequences need to be on point. The infected need to look just as they do in the game. Nothing can be different. And then these guys went, okay, we'll do that, and that's what they did. And me hating the season is like me hating the game. You know, it's which I can't do. I was surprised that they did it. I just assumed it was just going to be a watered down version of the game. It was not. It was like watching the game in live action. It's incredible.
We've just been burned so many times, haven't we, from game to TV or film adaptations. I mean, since Mortal Kombat, there really hasn't been anything very good.
No, there really hasn't.
No, Sam Kane and everything else. So,
yeah.
There's got to be something worth watching. There's got to be something worth watching.
It's really not. Even the ones that we expected to be decent, like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Uncharted was awful. And that's just the recent ones. You go back to
Doom.
Yeah, Warcraft. Shit. Doom. Shit.
It's so bad.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. Awful.
Resident Evil isn't even connected to the games in my head.
It's not.
It's a full-on guilty pleasure. I watched the shit out of all of them, but not even close to the game.
Just Mila Jovovich has new power each episode. It's like, what? It might as well be called "What's she gonna do next?"
It should have just been called The Fifth Element 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and whatever.
But everything that you loved about The Fifth Element, none of that is included.
Yeah, none of doing stuff in the day so that you could see all the CGI and all the weird stuff in Gary Oldman. No, just the bollocks bit of it with
Chris Tucker.
English and
that's what we needed.
Chris Tucker in it, to be fair.
Corbin, yeah, mate, great times.
Quite like Chris Tucker in that film. Not gonna lie.
Because it's fucking entertaining.
It's fucking great.
I know why Alan likes Chris Tucker.
It's fantastic.
Alan, I can see you in one of those outfits.
The leopard print one with the big collar.
Yeah.
With what goes down to here with like the weird cock hair.
Yeah, exactly. I can see you dressed. In fact, the next Comic-Con, that's what you're dressed as.
Only if you come as Mila Jovovich.
I was going to say Gary Oldman.
Oh mate, I'd be sick, Gary Oldman. I'll have the fucking
plate in your head
going down. Yeah, mate, it'd be great. I'd love it. That means Mike Mike, you pulled the Mila Jovovich card.
Either that or you.
No one wants to steal it. I was going to say it's going to be the bald Bruce Willis, but with just like a weird, like, I'm not shaving my head. I'm just going to put one of those weird, like, ball caps on.
Yeah. Mate, should we do that? Yeah. Wait, next time you dress up, we're going as the fifth element. No, Alan,
me and you don't, Nick, but Alan has to.
No, because he would 100% do blackface. It's just something Alan would do. I'm not having it. It's just not appropriate. No. I'll only do it. In fact, I retract that. I'll only do it if Alan goes as Mila Jovovich's character. You're not going as Christopher. No way. I can't risk it. I can't risk it. You'll literally one day, like you'll be wearing the outfit. You're like, this needs something, and then you're gonna have a glass of wine. You'll have a glass of wine, and you know what I mean. Before we know it,
he comes out dressed like the blue alien. I've got your back, Alan. Don't worry about it. Right, I need to go and get some more sweet for me if I'm making a cocktail. Back in a sec.
All right. So before we talk about Mando, let's talk about. I threw a trailer in the chat.
Turtles
today. Yeah, the Turtles. So what did we think? If you haven't seen the trailer, go check out the Red Lion page on Facebook. The trailer's up now, directed by Seth Rogen, who's also doing a voice. He's doing a voice character in there. Is it Bebop or Rocksteady?
Whichever one the pig is.
I want to say Bebop. Yeah, Bebop. Yeah. What do you think?
Sorry, I thought someone just knocked on the door, but it's fucking cats are fighting outside my room. Sorry. I think I'm hopeful. I quite like the animation style. It looks to me, I know it's not, maybe it's a bit more jumpy. It's not quite as clean, but it looks like Spider-Man or Into the Spider-Verse. It's that kind of weird, almost stop motion, but it's clearly computer graphics. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just odd. So quite like that. I'm fine with it. I didn't think it was funny at all. Because like you texted and was like, I think we've seen all the jokes. And I was like, I fucking hope not. I didn't laugh. So, so I didn't think it was funny. I think I enjoy that they've gone younger with the Turtles, that they are actual fucking teenagers and they're not just grown ass men voicing them. So they're all like, all the voices are fucking cracking left, right, and center, and they're actually kids that are playing it. So I'm cool with that. I mean, Jackie Chan as Splinter and, like, say, Seth Rogen. The rest of the cast, I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but the rest of the cast looks pretty stacked as well. And the characters that they've got in it that are like quite like really niche characters from the fucking from the cartoon.
Yeah,
not your everyday, not like
the ones that they're the guys that you get in like the Turtles bumper sticker, like people that you'd never see in an episode.
Like Scotman and
the little Firefly thing and all that stuff. Yeah. I remember having like a sticker or something. I don't remember having the toy.
I had loads of I had loads of toys because I had the van that shot pizzas out of the roof. And I had loads of the toys. So there was like.
Did you have the Michelangelo that like you used to wind up and you used to do that with the nunchucks? And his hands used to spin around. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
good times. Good times.
It was just fucking cool as fuck. Like I loved them as a kid. So I hope they don't fucking ruin it. I mean, no, actually, I don't care. I mean, I'm not emotionally attached to it like I would be if they did like a fucking Thundercats movie or the way I felt after Transformers. Do you know what I mean? I've not got that kind of attachment to it. Yeah. So like, fuck it, whatever, go for it. But
because they've definitely gone. Well, you did think it was all fun, very funny. There was a couple of scenes that did make me laugh. It took me a little while. The scene with the blade in Donatello's legs made me laugh, and then the
only thing what made me laugh, Donatello getting stabbed up by Raphael's little trident thing. Yeah. Only good thing in the trailer.
That's ripped directly from something else. That is fuller.
Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it is, and he's dancing, and he's dancing around. He's going, "It's in the bone," like that. That is genuinely a stolen joke. So immediately I just went, well, I'm not laughing at that because I I've seen that somewhere, and it annoyed me that I didn't know where it was. But yeah, now you said it was When Nature Calls, wasn't it? When he's in jungle trying to find the fucking bat, and they shoot him with darts.
That film
with the devil there, because he's literally a white devil and he has two spears sticking out of his leg.
What do they call him? Ikrichu Ocha. White devil. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't know why. It just really like the first. I'm probably because it caught me unawares, but the the bit at the end of the ooze, it just like even now I'm kind of laughing saying it, but it's so stupid and it's so childish, but it just made me laugh. One of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Anyway, I think it's I think it looks good. I'm not mad about the animation. I'm kind of a bit like you. I did say I do hope that they do it justice, but at the same time, justice to what? So it's I just hope they make it
the 90s film. It needs to be as good as the night of the night. Yeah, it's it needs to be as good as that film. I didn't rate the animation either, though.
Do you know I like that film? Because they actually there's people.
The music.
These ninja suits. No, I'm not talking about the music. Like fucking Vanilla Ice. I'm talking about the actual martial arts in it. It's actually decent. Like it's an action film. There's a martial art film, and the action sequences are quite long as well. And I rewatched it not too long ago. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it does feel very 80s. If it was, I would say late 80s. But
was it in the 90s?
Maybe early 90s, late 80s. I would say Corey Feldman's in it, and he voices Donatello, doesn't he? And he's 80s as far as I'm concerned. If he did anything in the 90s, who gives a shit?
I'm sure. Are you talking about the original Turtles film?
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's early 90s. I don't think it's 80s.
I'd say like really late 80s, like 88, 89, or early 90s, like 91, 2 or something like that. I love the martial arts in it. I feel like that film actually kicks ass, especially they do like a sewer fight at the end, whereas Michelangelo like fighting people on the skateboard. It's just incredible shit. I was like, this is actually really good to watch. It's fun to watch. So again, and then they brought out Michael Bay's.
I mean, Alan,
this is where Bay gets his non-side from. Alan, 2 seconds. Can we just get a moment of silence, please? While we just reflect.
At least that cunt did Casey Jones.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, Alan, what was you saying? Nancy vibes.
I was going to say, this is why Michael Bay gets called a nonce, because he just goes on ruining children's childhoods.
Yeah.
That's what actually happens. That's a fact. I can't get sued for that. That is a fact. Fact. While we're on it, cast for them. So we've got Seth Rogen, Ice Cube, Jackie Chan, Rose Byrne, Giancarlo Esposito, John Cena, Paul Rudd, Maya Rudolph.
Who's Paul Rudd in
it? Mondo Gecko. Fantastic work.
Yeah.
Like there's just, I mean, it's also got shit like people like Post Malone in it, but whatever.
So this was a big debate going on at Twitter at the moment. So April O'Neil, now,
hot or not?
But no, before, and let's the 90s version. So let's just say 90s. The 90s version, I think she was quite a strong woman. Well, she looked like a strong woman that needed to be rescued by mutant turtles every second, and Casey Jones. Nevertheless, she was a woman. She was a mature woman in that, she was a reporter. She was she had a kind of, she was very career focused. She didn't play by the rules. She knew what she wanted to do and she'd go her own way. She's very independent. And kind of she certainly was. I would say yes. Like I would say she didn't have martial arts skills. She wouldn't have martial arts skills, but she was very much a Lois Lane. She was a strong, she was a figure of a strong woman in that film, and I think the actor did her justice. And I think the first film did her justice. And then Michael Bay decided to hire Megan Fox. So destroyed all of that. Decided in the second film to dress her up like a child. Remember in the second film. Remember, she quickly changes into like a schoolgirl's outfit. It was one of the
second Turtles film.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like they did.
Yeah, with the foot and stuff.
It's with with what's his name, with Crane and
Weren't good.
Yeah. Was there really?
It was like there's something of the Technodrome or something. Yeah, it was not a good film.
Stop it.
No. It was the scene where they ride a tank down the waterfall. Remember that? Thank you, Michael Bay, for that.
Brilliant directing.
They ride a tank down a waterfall.
Yeah, they ride a tank down.
Unbelievable. So artistic.
Yeah. But anyways, lest we forget, Megan Fox they said, oh yeah, this is a children's. There was like that. There was that gif that this is a children's movie, and then it was just her dressed up like a slutty teenager. So in this episode, there's a big debate on Twitter. You probably saw some of April O'Neil in the trailer, but now she's played by a plus-sized black woman in this. Now, there's a lot of to and fro about this because obviously you're going to get the dickheads like, what the fuck? April O'Neil's hard and wide. What the fuck? Like those same people, they're going to be like, that think that we're going to be on the side of debate of, April O'Neil should be a white female and
ginger
and good looking.
And only wear a yellow jumpsuit.
Yeah. Anyone that's thinking they're about to say it, they're about to say what I'm thinking. No, it's not. And once again, I'm sorry to disappoint you. But no, that's not it. I mean, that's not how I feel about it. At least, I could give a fuck about what April O'Neil looks like. Right? What I want to know, like, she's a character in this thing about this film about turtles. If she wasn't in this film, it probably would take. I'd watch the entire film. It'd probably take me a couple of days to think, oh shit, what happened to April? She wasn't in this film. I wonder if they're going to bring her in. It wouldn't be an immediate thought. Nevertheless, they've decided, or Seth Rogen's decided to cast her as this. Now, we also watched and this is going to get very honest opinion, but we also watched a Peter Pan trailer recently. The new
I didn't.
Okay, fine. Well,
because I am done with supporting Nancy fucking films from the get-go. If I know it's going to be done
with supporting, like
I'm not going to.
If I know that film is going to give me Nancy vibes, I'm not going to watch it. And anything with fucking Peter Pan in is nonsense.
We've already had this discussion.
Yeah, so I'm just drawing the line underneath it now. It doesn't need to be discussed.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I can't believe it took me being sick in Scotland to go, I'm going to watch one of my favourite childhood films, to go, guys, it's just a thought. Has anyone actually realised this? But nevertheless, my question remains, in that trailer at least, and in the new film, the new Tinkerbell is being played by a black woman actor. Now, obviously, we're getting Ariel now cast as a black lead actor.
Yep.
So a lot of the films that we're watching, and now it's not even I wouldn't say even men, like predominantly black female leads are now stepping into shoes of leads that would have normally been played by white female actors. Do you think that this is a move on? We need to get more exposure to black female characters, and less. These are the right people to play these characters. Do you think?
I think it's Disney trying to make money.
Do you feel like it's gone? Do you think like they're pandering to the woke society?
I wouldn't say pandering. I think that they just want to make the most money as physically possible. and they saw what happened with Black Panther and went, "Oh, we can get on that."
But also,
I think it's literally just money.
Yeah,
like I don't think anything else comes into it.
Yeah, but you said about some of the other week, not about this, obviously, but you was like any fucking publicity is good publicity, like, and they saw what happened with Ariel, and because I do think with the Little Mermaid, they just picked the best fucking person for the job. I don't think they give a fuck what colour she was. She could sing. She was clearly like characterization was good. She could act. I think they just looked at it and went, "Do you know what? She's the right person to play this character. It doesn't really fucking matter, like any normal, sensible person would."
That's fine. I hear what you're saying. Just put a pin in that. So I'm going to literally deal you the card of Beauty and the Beast.
It's a wrong decision because she should never.
It was a complete opposite.
Yeah, they put a fan they put in someone who they thought would be good in the role in terms of it'll sell tickets instead of doing what was right for the film. So if they'd done what was right for the film, they'd have put Anna Kendrick in that place.
Yeah,
and I'm quite comfortable saying that. I don't dislike the Beauty and the Beast live action film. I know we differ on opinion on that. I don't dislike it, but I'm not gonna fucking argue about it because I know it's got its flaws and I know she can't really fucking sing. But yeah, I think they went, "Oh shit, she sells us. She's just been in one of the biggest franchises ever. Let's just pop her into this massive film that everyone will love it." And they didn't because she got exposed for being bang average at something.
I wouldn't say bang average. I'd say bad.
That's the work. Okay.
She's just fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say, because bang average would mean that you're okay at what you're doing. No. What we got out of Beauty and the Beast, Emma Watson cannot sing
at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And barely act.
Yeah. If it's your wedding, and then someone's like, "Yeah, I'm a wedding singer." Oh, what you like? Oh, I'm average. Right. Okay, let's hear you. Okay, right. They can kind of hit notes. They're not the best singer, but they can get a song out. Yeah, that's not what we got. What we got was bad. Not high.
That episode of Always Fun, no, not always. Only Fools and Horses, when the guy can only sing songs without the letter R.
Why?
Yeah. She's meant at anything but that.
Emma Watson is the Tony Angelino of Beauty and the Beast.
But now I just want to see Emma Watson sing the Green Grass of Home. Just to get that perfect Venn diagram of
followed by a medley of Walk and Woe.
Yeah.
Walk and Woe.
Right, mate, shouts Only Fools and Horses.
So I think there's two sides to it. I think most people have just gone, who's the best person for the part. I think there probably are some directors out there that are fucking thick as shit and feel like they need to hit a quota, and so they put people into roles regardless of whether or not they're the right person for the part and potentially based on skin color. But they're few and far between. But there definitely will be some out there because dumb people exist in the world, unfortunately, and a lot more so in fucking Hollywood.
But aren't we now kind of in the murky waters of perhaps what Mike is saying? Because, okay, right, so we know that Disney are capable of hiring just the worst.
Well, just wait 1 second.
The wrong roles, but yeah.
I'm sure last year Disney said that we are done making films for the moment with white straight leads, so everything that they're putting out is basically everything else, which I've got no qualms about, but it is a money grab. That's the only way you can put it, is how can we get as much money out of these lefty liberals that are bringing the kids to watch whatever we put out, because it's all about that good feeling stuff, and if they can get more inclusive and stuff like that, but it's not about PR for them. It's about how can we get the most money out of this, because white folk are going to go and watch it no matter what, because with Disney we are the white of white. We've got to get all the other people to give us their money as well now, and that's what they're doing. That's what it feels like to me anyway. And with them saying that they're not going to be casting that many straight white people.
Yeah, but I don't think that's just saying that, because like when you look at what projects have they got coming out, would any of them naturally have a white straight lead, like a white lead anyway?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That they're not making those films. They're making films like Encanto and stuff like that because they're not reliant on that. But it's so lately because they know everyone what's already a Disney fan, or they've got kids and they're a Disney fan. They're going to take the kids and whatever. They're going to get that money, but they're trying to get money from other areas now.
So this is what I mean.
Demographics.
So pandering.
Yeah,
it's exactly. Well,
it's not pandering. I wouldn't say it's pandering because I don't think they genuinely give a toss. It's just about how can we make the most money. Because at the end of the day, they're just a massive corporation, aren't they? So that's true. It's just how can we be as most profitable as possible.
Pandering would be doing it for someone else, wouldn't it? I suppose, and they're absolutely not doing that. They're doing it for their own pocket.
So it's worse than pandering.
It's essentially cashing in on.
Because pandering doesn't have to be genuine. But in regards to. I agree. I think it's a money grab. I feel like what now we're in danger of seeing, and to be honest, and obviously, like seeing more people of color playing Disney roles and lead Disney roles is something that I always will be like for. And it's important that my children see things like that as well, especially my daughter. Female roles as well, and it's important that she sees these things. I remember, like my sister, like growing up when she was a child, and all Disney female leads were white, in cartoons or other. So I can imagine it being quite difficult for all of the Barbie dolls were white and this, that, and the other. Having a black Barbie doll was it just didn't kind of fit with her collection. It wasn't normal, but it was something my mother tried to encourage, and it's not right. So I appreciate that. I feel like, however, what Disney are in danger in doing is that they're in danger of basically doing the same thing they did with Emma Watson, but just getting someone black in there. They can't sing, they can't act, just a black lead, throw them in there, and let's make a movie. Because now we've got another shit movie with a black female lead in it, and because they are far and few in between. Not all black people that are actors are talented. Let's just say that, just like white actors, and there are right castings for the right roles. So if there's someone that is particularly popular at the moment, you mentioned you didn't want to mention Post Malone. In the Turtles thing, but let's say there's a charming prince. Post Malone's hitting up because he's just smashed another record, and they let's get him in as Prince Charming. We already know that it's just not a good decision. It's not a good idea, but they could do it just because to hit the Go on.
Would Prince Charming have face tattoos?
Maybe. Yeah, let's make it modern.
Sick. I'm up for that.
Like Romeo and Juliet have set it in modern day.
They would just do another. They'll do fucking. Like he's gonna be fucking Prince and Snow White or something. Knowing Disney, it's just gonna be like they're just gonna literally just cram him into Summit, and just to, like you say, just to make money, and I feel like what they should be focusing on more is getting the right person for the right role. That is what I feel is more important than anything. Like with Beauty, with The Little Mermaid, when you heard those pipes to Not Under the Sea, what's the song she's singing
in the
trailer? Part of Your World. It sounded beautiful. It was incredible, like amazing stuff. But again, I always use Beauty and the Beast as a reference because it's just the worst. But it's just the different. Like when you're in a fucking film which is heavily based around singing, it's not like a fucking. It's just, Jesus Christ, Disney! Like you need someone in there that can actually sing. I remember having this debate with one of our old colleagues when we used to work in DE, Alan, who's again another big Disney Harry Potter fan, and they're like, "Oh no, but she didn't have any acting lessons before," and I was like, "I can fucking tell." No, acting, singing lessons before. I was like, I could tell she didn't have any fucking singing lessons. You have to tell me that. I got it from watching it. I know. I still think she needs them. I feel like this film was very premature. If she has any singing ability, it's yet to reveal itself, because what we saw was a fucking shit show. It was terrible. And again, it's a musical. Like, who in the film industry do you need to say that in a musical you might need someone that can fucking sing? That might be like the number one priority. Right, here's your application. So you're acting, you've been in a lot of films, you're going to be singing a lot. Can you sing? No. All right, you're hired. Who has ever said that?
Michael Bay.
It's get the fuck out of here. The answer is get the fuck out of the studio. Can you sing? No. Then why are you wasting my fucking time? What's up with you? Why did you ever go for this? Do another Harry Potter film. Just fuck off. You know what I mean? There was no need for it. Why? But in The Little Mermaid, again, like, I'm confident in that film because it looked stunning from what we saw from the trailer. Hopefully it remains throughout, because it's going to be very heavily CGI based. And I just hope they put the time and effort into this to give it, because effectively this should probably be one of the most beautiful looking Disney films that's ever been made.
Well, they've got precedent now, so they've got Avatar to base it off. Avatar 2's lives are set underwater. That you just do that.
Do that.
Don't fuck about. Just go and see what he did, James Cameron, even though he probably is a bit of a cunt. But go and see what he did.
Yeah.
And do that.
Do that. Yeah. I can imagine. See, this was what Mike would do if he was the director of The Little Mermaid.
No, I wouldn't have directed it. It's quite simple. Like, why? I can't.
It would have been more like the Hans Christian Andersen original, where the mermaid just drowned people.
Yeah. I'd definitely watch that film.
Like, where they just, because I'm sure that's the original fucking story, is that she's horrifically looking and drowns sailors for fucking.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Like
and she gets Sam was telling me this. She actually gets her tongue ripped out. She's green. Like her skin's green and mutilated.
Green?
She does
Not
meet
my Ariel.
Oh yeah. Man, I was thinking it. I was thinking it, and he fucking said it. Fucking basement dwellers. Fucking cotton bud basement.
Before we move on to The Mandalorian, I want to get the disrespect shown to me out of the way.
Oh, yes.
Because I feel like we'd all find it highly amusing, and I need my counselling.
Yeah, you look like you got a bit of a chip on your shoulder. What's up?
Right. So you've both been to my house, and you've both seen Bread Baby?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So my wife and a friend went to a charity shop and bought what is the worst looking ornament I've ever seen in my life. And it's a little baby made out of bread covered in glue and painted. So this weekend, Vicky has made 4 of them. All of them characters that Pedro Pascal has played in the past. The first one you might recognise as Prince Oberyn. Right? He's got his eyes crushed and everything. Well, there we go. Right, but this is the obvious one. Kind of gives it away, yeah? Let's see if anyone can recognise this one. This is my guy in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah. Because he's quite neutral in that. Yeah, so yeah, fair enough.
Because he's got the big puffy quiff,
yeah.
Right, so third up, I think the only way you get this is if you look at the top of his head. There's a bit of grey in there.
Is that? I don't know.
That's Last of Us.
Is that?
Yeah, I was going to say Last of Us.
Why has he not got any clothes on?
Because she's a sick puppy. Right. This one, I honestly can't remember.
It has to be The Mandalorian. It has to be.
No, because I said The Mandalorian would be dead easy because you just paint his fucking head grey, wouldn't you?
Right.
I don't know why he looks a bit yellow.
No, pass.
Anyone?
Wait, hang on. Let me just have a look at his. Let me just have a quick look at his IMDb.
Right, she spent like a day and a half making these.
I mean, they're fantastic. It's really beautiful.
They are a work of art, but I'm struggling to think who this one's supposed to be. Is it the guy from Narcos?
Narcos. I was just about to say that.
Again, naked.
Yeah, but again, she's a sick puppy. The only one what's got clothes on is this. But that's because he's next to the sexy like Nick Cage, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Look at the size of his nose in this one as well.
What's up with the back? He looks like the thing from 300. You know, the one that wants to really be like a Spartan, and they're like, "No, you're disabled. Get the fuck out of
here." Throw him off a cliff, but you live.
Yeah. Like boots him off the cliff. No, disabled. Boom. Yeah.
But this one has got the worst bowl haircut I've ever seen in my life.
It was fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about. It was exactly. Have you seen how straight
Prince Oberyn is? That is Prince Oberyn, but fucking chunky.
How straight Prince Oberyn's like fringes. That is accurate.
That is perfect. But I don't know which is my favourite. It's probably between these two, but it's just disrespectful to make little like bread men of your ideal man, isn't it? And they don't even have a beard. The disrespect.
I mean, the least you could have done was make one of them look like Key Mike. But I can honestly tell you that not one of those things that we've just seen look like.
But no, you need 3 legs. It'll look weird.
They don't even look like. They don't actually look like Pedro Pascal. They look more like the things from the Dark Crystal. Yeah,
have you seen it? Have you seen it? That is his twin. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's
fair enough with this one. Right, Vicky, if you're watching, can you please explain to me which is this one?
Yeah, Narcos.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, is he discoloured because of the amount of drugs he's done?
That's what I thought. That's where I thought she'd gone with it. I thought that accounted for maybe the rosy cheeks as well. Like he would have bloodshot eyes. But
no, he's just got big holes in his eyes. They're just big fucking holes. Look at that terrifying face.
He's fucking wired. He's been on it since Sunday.
He's been on it since 1984 by the look of it. Fucking Pablo's, mate, eh?
I feel like they're beautiful works of art. Well done.
Oh no, they're stunning. Yeah. But the fact that they just scattered around the flat just to remind me, is a little bit disrespectful.
Fantastic.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, brilliant stuff.
I'm really
I feel like we should have like a disrespect for the week. I feel like definitely Vix would.
It's just big Vicky against me every single week.
Win every week.
It starts off with like little bread men, and then it's going to be like a solid gold statue of him naked. You know what I mean?
I'm going to come in one day, and he's going to be a Pedro Pascal like love pillow, just on my side of the bed, and I'm sleeping on the couch. Vicky, do not get any ideas, you scumbag. Right, but that is what I'm expecting, like at Christmas, Joe, when it's a bit colder again.
Is it grounds for divorce if she snuggled up to you and said, "Oh, Pedro"?
No, it depends what we're doing.
Limit? Where's your limit?
I honestly don't know. All I can hear is Kathleen from the other room trying to figure out where that limit is. Where would the limit be?
Do you just say, "Call me baby girl"?
That's what I said. That's what she's going to
do. Call me baby girl.
Call me. Tell me everything's going to be all right.
Mate, she's gonna pin you down to the bed and try to like squeeze your eyes out. Call me baby girl.
Over me.
While you're wearing a gold dressing gown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mike. I just got your little present. It's in the bedroom. Just some gold dressing gown. A massive staff.
It won't even be a proper staff. Though. It'll be like a twig with like a knife stuck on the end of it.
I was gonna say it's gonna be a fucking mop handle with a fucking steak knife sellotape to the end.
Oh mate, just
Used to be funny.
Just showing that disrespect. Love it. Brilliant work, Vix. Good stuff. All right, let's go on to because it's getting on. Let's go on to the Mandalorian because we've got 2 episodes to talk about.
Oh mate, I don't even remember what happened. I was just in pure joy throughout.
Should we just? We don't have to do the break. I mean, actually, no, we do because it would make sense. Should we just do like a really quick kind of scattered?
Yes. Skip through because the first episode was 2 weeks ago, and if you haven't watched it by now, you're probably a loser. Yeah, exactly. Right, but it is clearly the best looking of all of the Star Wars things since it's been bought. The Mandalorian.
Just waiting for Vix to go. It's because it has Pedro in it.
Exactly. Even with a helmet on. Yeah, it sounds like it's got a big helmet on.
Let's just get all these jokes out of the way before she slams on the fucking caps lock. Helmet, Pedro, best looking. Yeah, we know, Vix. We know.
I'd say it's on par with with Rogue One, really. I think of the new Star Wars, it's there or thereabouts, like tonally and everything, like the way the CGI looks.
Yeah, I would be happy with someone saying them two are in the same universe, but then you can take the rest of it out of it. Like they two feel very linked. Yeah.
The rest of it feels like it's one version of Star Wars, and this feels like the right version of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so fucking good. Like I was talking to Harry about it just before we get onto a quick run through. I was talking to Harry about it, and he was like, he's not watched this week's episode yet, and he was like, "Oh, I'm a bit nervous because like I don't want him to do. Oh, you've got to fix the droid, so you have to go and get a circuit, and when you go and get the circuit, you run into another pirate, and then you have to kill that pirate, and you have to go and rescue a kid." And he said, "And I don't want it to just run over like that on and on and on each week, and have like a villain of the week with a really loose, overarching story." And I did say to him, it's not a problem. You're not going to be waiting 5 episodes for him to go to fucking Mandalore because he talked about it last week. He's just gone and done it this week.
Yeah, straight up.
And I was like, and it wasn't, and I think it really wasn't expected that they was just going to go, oh, there you go, done. We'll move on to the next bit now because what's coming is better than that. So that didn't need to be teased all season, although they could have done it that way. And other shows would have. They've just gone, no, fuck it, we'll just go there.
Yeah. Which I love. Good. He just kind of regained, like he's done it. He's bathed in the waters, goes back, done it, done.
Yeah.
Mando again.
So this, right, okay, let's do a dead quick breakdown then. So do you want me to do it or are you doing it?
No, go ahead.
Right, so it comes back, obviously he's got Grogu in tow. He goes and he rescues a load of Mandalorians that are basically indoctrinating new kids into the culture and stuff. They're putting their helmets on for the first time. There's one kid that looks specifically like Ezra, and I feel like they've done that on purpose to hint that he's coming later, but that's a different story. He basically saves them all because he's a big fucking massive Lake Placid motherfucker comes out of the water.
It looks like an elongated shell snapping turtle.
Yeah.
Like it's stretched out a little bit, but it's as nasty as one of them. It's a fucking naughty little prick, isn't it?
Yeah, which is fair. Yeah, so he goes, he saves them. They basically say to him, "You've got to go and bathe in the waters on Mandalore, in the living waters on Mandalore, which are in the right underneath the where the palace used to be." Obviously, Mandalore's fucked, so he's like, "Well, I can't go there. It's toxic." And she goes, "Well, this is the way." So,
do you know what? Can we just say really quickly? I'm starting to use that with the kids.
This is the way.
Anytime they argue about anything, this is the way. And just leave.
It
is an argument finisher.
Yeah.
It's
try
just brilliant.
Try and put away these pots. Why?
Yeah.
This is the way.
This is the way. It's time for bed. I don't want to go to bed. Yeah. This is the way.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes you have to use an actual sentence. Like, where's the toilet? This is the way.
Yeah.
It doesn't work as well then.
No, it's not going to have quite the same impact.
No. You're actually just telling them where it is,
yeah. So he goes. So the decision's made that he's got to go to Mandalore to bathe in the living waters. He basically goes to see Bo-Katan to see if Mandalore's actually safe. She's just chilling on her throne all day, doing fuck all because all her mates have left her.
Did anyone get Lord Game of Thrones Joffrey vibes when she was like sprawled over the finger over the that? Well,
to be fair,
throne finger when he walked up to her? I was just like, oh, that is very Game of Thrones, which I appreciate because they're all scumbags as well.
Yeah, I mean
Mandalorians as a whole. I mean, not.
Yeah,
women.
The Bo-Katan and Katie Sackhoff can just say however she wants, whenever she wants.
I just figured she must be really bored. There's just fuck all. Like she's just
That's Joffrey.
In a long corridor.
She's just got one droid. Everyone else has left her. And she's
like
just
she was
one droid.
She was 100% mid wank before you walked in. The way she was that, like she literally tights barely up. You know what I mean? Just yes. What are you doing here? Yeah.
She's turned into Tom Hanks's character from Castaways. Next week, you're going to see the droid with a fucking red mark, like red handprint on his face.
Wilson, She just must. I mean, she's just there with a fucking helmet, just rested. I mean, what's she doing? She was in exactly the same position when Grogu came. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So
sexy. That's what she's thinking. If I look sexy, someone might come and save me.
Yeah. So he goes to see her.
Clearly doesn't need that when you see it later on.
No. So he goes to see her anyway. She says you can't go to Mandalore, it's fucked. So he goes back to Tatooine. Is it Tatooine? It's not Tatooine, is it?
Tatooine where the thing is, the pod race was at the start.
Yeah. Moss, something else. Sees his old mate, kills some pirates in the best way.
Can we talk about Carl Weathers has now got like a cape, but he's also got two droids to keep his cape from touching the floor?
But you know what I really appreciate is that he just dragged the fuckers downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely like, absolutely loved it. Just ultimate disrespect.
There's still no respect for droids. There's still like things haven't changed since going into a tavern in Tatooine when Luke's there. Hey, we don't serve their kind here. Just disrespect.
Unless you're an assassin droid what got killed in the last season. No, like they fucking ate them all.
Wow. I mean, they built them. Why would you hate things that you built? Like, what the fuck? Stop building them.
Skills, innit?
But then speaking of assassin droids, so that's what he goes back to Tatooine for. He wants this droid because it'll basically survive anything. And he wants to send it out of the planet Mandalore to see if it's toxic.
Which is ironic because it's destroyed.
Yeah. So
in bits.
So he tries to fix it. He tries to kill Grogu. So he kills it again.
No, he doesn't kill it again. It's the protocol droid what pushed the bus off the thingy and crushes it.
Oh yeah.
Which also got a proper like little laugh off me because I was like, C-3PO wouldn't have ever thought about doing that. Everyone would have been just dead. This one was like, no, fuck off.
Not having that. Not in my town. Yeah. But again, self-hating droid. They hate each other. There's a lot of hate going around for droids. Well, isn't it sad?
It depends on how the programming is, isn't it? And how they're brought up.
Yeah. He's like, it's not me, it was my granddad. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to like talking to the down IG. It's just sparking. I'm trying to be better. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway. So then that brings out the mission of like the next episode where he's got to go and find this memory chip. You get a cut from.
Can we talk about the pirates properly first in that space shootout?
Yeah. So I was going to say you get a deep cut from Space Whales, which is like another one where it's like, oh, that's
Ezra.
That's a little extra link to Rebels, and then you get another cut where the little guys that he goes to get fixed. I'm sure they were the guys that reboot C-3PO on the planet in Rise of Skywalker.
Well, they have been. No, they have been used. I feel in 2 of the newer films in the last in Boba Fett.
Yeah, you're talking about Boba Fett. His name was
Boba
Fett. Yeah, he was in the the only saving grace of that film. It was just entertaining watching him for those 5 minutes, and then he just went back.
Was he in Boba Fett as well?
I didn't remember him in Boba Fett.
The little guys.
The guys that try and fix BB-8.
Yeah, they are, but it's only when they're in the camp, when they go, when the spice, oh God, what they called, the cartel, Joe, are running the spice.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the scene after he's gone in and killed them, and you go to the canteen. They're in there talking. But there's literally, it's Boba Fett this show is just shining a light on how bad the Boba Fett series was and how it was treated.
It's killing.
How they just they've killed off Boba Fett because like they don't want to deal with him anymore. Like I genuinely feel like they put out a bad season so people don't clamor for more, so they can just use their own IP going forward.
They don't have to
worry about
the main character in the old Star Wars films. They could have just made him done 5 episodes of him just killing everyone to like build himself to the top. Literally, like no speak, like Samurai Jack, the motherfucker, no talking, just walks into somewhere and just kills the fuck out of everyone, right? And then just disappears off in the background. He's running this cartel. Mando's doing his own thing. He sees him every now and again, maybe pops up like he did in season 2. That's what we need. That's all we need. Boba Fett the Shark once or twice and just kill people in the most spectacular way and then fuck off again. Brilliant.
Just burn everyone alive and then just leave.
We don't need him to talk. Just yeah, exactly.
No one saw Jabba the Hutt when he was the fucking boss.
No.
But he murdered loads of people.
You just knew that people talking of him. Brilliant. Amazing.
Well, even if you go back to Rogue One, like the big spectre over that whole film, Vader, and how much of that film is he actually in?
5 minutes.
But he's a spectre throughout the whole. But that's what I'm saying. Like he can do great things without using characters like just watering them down and just making them as Disney-fied as possible. And I feel like that's what they've done here. Like they not realised who and why people love Boba as like a mercenary bounty hunter and gone, but we can make this wholesome. No, that's not why people like it.
What people want to see, I think what people want to see is Boba Fett being all tribal with a stick, and then we go Power Rangers on the little motorbikes driving around. People love that. That's what we like. That's what we want to see about Boba. That's what people want to see. That's what I want to see. That's my Boba Fett. We want to see him dancing around with sand people. That's what we want. We can't kill them sand people no more.
We can't call them some people anymore.
We can't call them sand people no more. We have to call them Tusken Raiders.
Tusken Raiders.
Mate, they call them sand people. That's what they call them. Luke calls them sand people.
If they can go back and change those now, they'll go back and change Star Wars.
They were called sand people. Boba Fett Road Slave 1. Give a fuck. Oh my God, he said it! He said what I was thinking! Oh my God, I knew it wasn't so. It's great, he said it!
So, that first episode with the pirates, and they're trying to go for a drink inside the school. Anyone else getting major nonce vibes from them?
Yes.
Nonce vibes, yeah. 100%.
Facts.
What is it with them? Like, a lot of these shows are just like, but we're going to hurt kids. There's a lot of that at the moment. And I feel like it's because
I don't mind like watching like kids get hurt. Sometimes it's done brilliantly, like in like Beast. We watch. You know what I mean? Like just kids getting killed by stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what I mean? Just no nonsense shit. You know, have them lipped limb from limb if it's necessary for the film. But you know, like Jaws did it. It was a shocking scene, but nevertheless, Alex died. Shark didn't give a fuck. He killed him.
Fuck that kid.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck Alex. Like at the end of the day. As long as it's done in the most spectacular way and it's there to prove a point and to create horror, then fine. No nonsense shit. No just weird pirates wanting to go into a school for like half an hour.
To drink.
To drink.
Fucking weird. They all deserve to die for that. But Carl Weathers and the man and Mando were exquisite in that scene. Mando is just Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. I love
when he's like on that.
Yeah, just like
when he's like on the tree, he's just like waiting to shoot.
Yeah.
Like,
and mate, his line, we got a problem here. I'm just bruv. Yeah, we got a problem here.
He's a bad man, like, but he's got a heart of gold.
Do we have a problem here?
Do we have a problem here?
Do we have a problem? No.
Nick prepares behind it. Who knew Mandalorian would have put a call back to "Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood"? Wild.
Wild chat. Fact so. They should just went all out. They should have done it like that. Do everything. Do we? Yeah.
The end of that episode is one of my favorite things from Mando so far.
I like how Alan's actually trying to tell a story, and we're just kind of.
No, he's doubting. Is that the end? Is that the dogfight?
Yeah, the dogfight. Then he gets captured. Well, he's about to get taken aboard, and he goes, "No, hyperspeed," and then it cuts off, and that's the end of that episode.
No, he gives him. Mate, like the last thing he teaches.
Don't trust the pirate.
Don't never trust the pirate. Patong, and he's gone.
Great, incredible ending, but that dogfight in the asteroid field is something what we've needed. Probably since the first season, Joe, to do it justice. But that was the first time I've gone, oh shit, they can actually do it properly and on TV, and like not just for film.
He's a menace. Like he's not. He's
a bad man.
Him, literally, he was nowhere, and him flying through that asteroid and just murking and disappearing again. I was like, what the fuck?
Just
how are you doing stealth in
like
this?
Like he wasn't even fucking. It didn't feel like he was even trying.
No, these little pricks. Flipped a couple of switches.
Mate, when you
put behind a boulder.
Mate, that was one thing. I wanted one of the pirates when he shoots him. One of them to go, where is he? And one of them go, he came from behind.
Can't shake him.
I can't shake. Stay on target. Mate, brilliant. Star Wars banter. If you don't get it, then this isn't for you. Yeah. So, Alan, please continue. Mate, in fact, actually, one thing I was going to say is the best thing about the Phantom Menace, bar Darth Maul, was the fact that it gave us this Naboo starfighter.
The starfighter. That starfighter is sexy.
Yeah. That's the best. The best thing about Phantom Menace is the Mandalorian.
Yeah, like most things.
Yeah, in the Star Wars universe, the best thing about that film is 60 years later.
They've done the MCU thing and made For That World relevant.
Yeah. That's literally what they did. Yeah.
But the second episode,
had that shit though.
I feel was incredible. Like I thought that first one was great, but this second episode was just
not being funny. It made me wet. Like just
a big
I shit, pissed, and cum myself all at the same time. It was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, like everything, just the lot. I just excreted.
Yeah, it was a mess.
From every orifice, like just leaked.
Probably a good thing you didn't watch it with Harry.
Yeah, mate. I keep these episodes to myself just in case. Do you know
light a couple of candles. Yeah, I mean, alone time. Do not disturb sign on the bedroom. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Get some lotion out.
Yeah.
Sit on your hand until it goes numb.
Can you imagine one of your kids coming in?
Better than the stranger, mate.
Yeah, like George or Harry comes in the room, like, Daddy, get out!
You not see the sock on the door handle?
I told you not to disturb me when I was cleaning my room.
This is my Mando time. Get out! Get out of the room.
Why's the Hoover on at half 10? We're fucking going hell. Right. So yeah.
So anyway.
Disturbing.
So what actually, so what particularly in this episode? I need to control this a little bit.
Oh,
what
right.
in this episode happens to make you feel this way, Alan?
He goes Tatooine. Again, meets up with that curly-haired dwarf boy. And then you get a little nod to the original Star Wars where R5 comes out, and I was so fucking happy because I just went, I know that fucking droid. Like as soon as it goes out, I was like, I know that droid. Where is it from? And I initially thought, because I had Rebels in my head and stuff, I thought it was Chopper because he's obviously fucking red and white and he's round and shit. And I was just like, but he doesn't sound right. So I looked at it, I was like, R5. And I was like, oh, it's from New Hope. So R5 is obviously the Astral Met droid that essentially malfunctions so that Luke has to take R2. It causes the other one to malfunction so that Luke has to take R2 so he can go on with him. So I was like, that's fucking nice, that. I quite like that. And like, you get why he's a bit of a fucking shit cunt and he's scared of everything. So yeah, so I was like, so I got that little nod, which I appreciated. And then he gets this droid because he can't fix the other one, fucks off to Mandalore, and then just gets absolutely fucking murked by a bunch of big, like, what's the thing called that was on Hoth? Was it a Wampa? Is that what it was called?
It's not a Wampa, but it's
like that. It's like that planet.
It's like a four-eyed version of that.
Yeah, it looks like. Have you ever seen the film The Time Machine, and the Morlocks when they come out of the it looks kind of like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
just basically these like just kind of big giant cave dwellers.
Yeah, kind of somewhere between a like some sort of primate and like a bear or like a yeti. Like it was weird, weird but like clearly powerful.
they were fucking.
And you can use tools.
Yeah.
They made tools out of the green glass from the explosions and stuff. What they spotted the planet with.
Yeah, so he gets kind of murked off. He ends up killing them all eventually with the Darksaber, which he still can't fucking use because he's fighting against it. Because obviously he doesn't feel like he's worthy to wield it, and the saber apparently knows that. So he can't use it. Kind of gets through, and then just gets absolutely fucking destroyed by this weird looking fly thing that actually reminded me. Vicky will get this. It reminded me of the new robot from Lost in Space. The new Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Show. Like as soon as it crawled out, I was like, "That's Robbie. That's exactly what it looks like. The head and everything." I was like that, and I was fine with that because they're actually fucking terrifying in that show at points. So he sends Grogu off. Who just
I got more Bioshock. The game Bioshock. I got those kind of vibes. Okay. Just like robot mutants in robots kind of thing.
Yeah, biomechanical devil.
Yeah. But then, so he basically says to Grogu, like, go and get Bo, like, go and find her. And I also, like, in the beginning of the episode, like, all the way through it, and the last episode, I think, as well, he's kind of teaching Grogu
how to read star maps and stuff.
All the way through, like, so you see him fuck off and just flex on everything using Force. He's flipping all over the fucking show now. Like proper little Yoda. Like he's just fucking doing somersaults for fun, just like taking the piss out of folk. So he gets back to the ship, and you see him like point to the fucking star maps. They've got like go there to the R5 unit. Fuck off, go and get Bo. She's still chilling on her throne, no mates again. And then
she was angry because she thought it was him. And she was like, right, I'm going to go and fuck him up now. Fuck this little dickhead intruding on my peace and quiet.
Yeah, but then you get like a bit of a backstory as well. So as soon as she sees
I'm busy.
Like, where's your dad? Like, where is your dad? And he's like obviously can't fucking speak. So she goes, right, download the droid, and then she fucks off in her ship, which is sick.
It's the one from Rebels, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking so nice. Like, it's such a sick looking ship. It's books off to Mando, to Mandalore to try and find him. They're going through, and she tells this story about her dad, which then obviously makes sense why she's just seen Grogu and gone, well, we'll go and save your dad then because I grew up without mine, sort of thing. Like it all kind of it flows really nicely. She flexes on Mando in that she doesn't get attacked by these guys. She fucking bursts them out of a pod that they're waiting to ambush her on in the ceiling and just kills them all.
Mm-hmm. Without the dark saber.
Like without the saber, like she just murders them all. She's got that cool fucking holographic shield on her wrist, which she had in Rebels as well, which is just like.
I think that terminology is correct as well. If I may interject for a second there, Adam.
Absolutely, sir.
I feel like murder is the correct terminology because at no point did you feel like her life was in danger. So it was certainly not self-defense. It was murder. She murdered.
I mean, none of us even really know if they were planning to ambush or she shoots them. As far as we know, that was a family asleep in their bed.
They were probably just mourning the people that Mando killed. Mourning their loved ones. It was probably a funeral that she interrupted, and they were just trying to lay their dead to rest, and she just decided to finish off the rest of the family, which is
and then happened. she murders them, and then she finds Mando, frees him, gets the darksaber, and fuck me, you get probably one of the best saber sequences I've seen.
Yeah.
At all.
In ever. Just ever. Like, it is incredibly like tactile as well. Like, everything feels like when she hits things, it's not just like in a lot of the prequel trilogy, when you hit people, it would just go through and it was very easy. When she's hitting things, it was like, there was real violence behind it. Yeah, like it was.
I would say it was amazing. I wouldn't say ever.
What was better apart from Duel? But that's because he's a guy with two things. This is just one person with a sword.
Knights of the Old Republic cutscene, easy.
No, I know, but
I'm counting that.
Mate. I'm counting that. Lucasfilm, mate. Well, LucasArts.
It's not counted as canon, is it?
No, that's what I mean. If we go current canon, if you look at you've got the Luke scene at the end of last season, you've got Vader's tunnel scene or corridor scene. You've got maybe the saber fight from. There's a couple of saber fights maybe in Last Jedi and in the throne room, and then the fight with Kylo on the ruins of the Death Star in Rise of Skywalker is sick, and then obviously the first one where Jula Flates is playing in Phantom Menace. I don't really like any other fucking.
I would say
maybe Anakin and Obi.
Nah, I feel like that's a bit meh. It's just a bit showy. But I feel like I wouldn't say like Duel of the Fates is one of my favorite as a sequence. But I'd say just not even the Duel of the Fates thing because the music's not playing, but just Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's but even when you stack all of them up, Bo-Katan with the darksaber, who is not trained as a Jedi, is more entertaining than at least 80% of all of the other fucking duels in normal Star Wars.
I agree. I agree with that. I would say it's my favorite. I would say I'm not taking anything away with it. I thought she was fucking badass, mate. I'm not talking like I wasn't there, stood up, going, "What the fuck?" And then the final, the final decapitation. I was just like, "That's nuts,
bro."
I was just like, I was worried for the rest of the season. I was like, "How the fuck are you going to beat this?"
Because it's the way that she flips from. She kills this kind of minor thing fairly easily. Like she doesn't really struggle to kill it, and then it crawls off, and you go, "Oh shit, it's getting in that big fucking thing." She still doesn't struggle. Like she puts in no more effort for that massive big mech machine than she put into when it was same size as her.
Yeah,
she just kills it straight away.
It's the darksaber. It literally just cuts through it like butter. It's scary to see, but also it looked just incredible. The side shot that you got with just her and the saber and this giant fuck off mech machine. I was just I was expecting the words "fight" to appear on screen. I was just like, "Let's go!" Fucking go.
Well, then it would have said at the end, "Bo-Katan, flawless victory."
Yeah, fatality, because that was a decapitation. Mate,
so when the head thingy fell off and started Joe crawling away, did anyone else get the thing like vibes from it?
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing what I thought of when I saw it. I was like, oh, that's a nice little, because the way it's shaped, like it's upside down and stuff, like you know, like the head when the legs come out of the head.
I love
I
it.
was just like, that's really nice.
It just made me go, what the fuck is that? Like, I love the fact that they can bring this creature in there, and I'm quite like they could make a fucking season about these things as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah,
because whatever it was incredible. Like the machine it was using, like how did it get there? Were they always underneath Mandalore? What the fuck is that? You know what I mean?
Like, that they used for like mining that was maybe slightly enslaved, and it's fucking free now because there's no
exactly. I wanted to know more. It's like the Darth Maul. Like it just doesn't say nothing, comes and just fucks shit up, and apart from it doesn't really. But it just is like it's just a menacing presence. You know what I mean? It's just there. But it was just like even like just when the head movies, what the fuck is this thing? You know what I mean? What is that? What is it? You know, it kind of made me feel a little bit kind of like a General Grievous a little bit.
Definitely.
Alien much better. Oh yeah.
I like Grievous. I've got a soft spot for Grievous, but like, I get what you're saying. Like, when Obi-Wan shoots it in its heart, through its skeleton and stuff, and that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah,
the way like it is all flailing about that. Like, it was entertaining as fuck. Like
I just think it's really good sci-fi, like aliens in robots. It just looks it looks great. It looks incredible. And I think like if you got like a war scene or a battle scene with these things versus Mandos, or even just like an army or something on there, it just could be like an amazing war film because it's scary. It's like a fucking menacing creature.
I'd watch an alien type film though, with just them knocking about all over the show and someone trying to hide from him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's just sinister. Yeah, but it's good. Yeah. It's good. This is what I love about the series as well. And this is like, for fuck's sake, Bubba. Like this is like just this episode and just like every time I can't help it, you know, because I wanted it to be good so much. We
all did.
Well, I really wanted it to be I know. But like I have to compare it. But like just something like this, it's like we're now talking about this one character for maybe 10 minutes now. But just this character that was in it fleetingly, it just played. I wouldn't say like even it's not even a main villain. It's just an obstacle that they need to get by to continue. You know this show. You know he's captured the Mando. They have to go rescue it. But it just brings so much intrigue. Like what the fuck was that machine? What is that creature? You know what's the staff it using? How did it manufacture it? Where did the fuck?
Why has it got a human eye?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't alien. It was very much alien. It was like yellow or green or something.
To me, it does look like this part of a human face.
It was just
like that part of it. Like it was weird as fuck.
Quite possibly, but it was just the way it moved, and even just when you saw its feet when it was next to Mando, what was he going to do? Like suck the blood out of him into this pumping device?
Well, it started, didn't it? And I was like, oh, this went dark, like for a fucking Mando.
Again, like War of the Worlds, like from that.
Weirdly, it reminded me of the baddie in RoboCop 2.
Oh.
So the guy, what was it? The mech, what had the brain stem and spine put into it.
Yeah.
So it was like a robot what was using that nuke stuff. Like that's what it reminded me of as soon as I saw it. Like it was a human what had been put into a robot, probably for mining or something. Joe, but it survived, and then it's just gone right. What do I need to survive? Is probably biomatter, and that's why it was draining Joe.
Yes,
I don't think it was just blood. It was just like all the fluids, the fat, like everything.
Maybe just like mutating the organs or something, like to survive to eat him. Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's why sense. I went Starship Troopers on it. That's what I thought. You know, when it comes out at the end, it sticks it in the fucking skull.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh,
just
like
touch on the brain. Yeah.
Like the way it moved down the tube and stuff like that was similar.
Mate, but I got a feeling that they're just not going to tell us, which I kind of love.
Yeah.
I kind of love that. It's just paved the way for something else. But if it happens, or they may not.
It'll be named. It'll be in a comic in about 2 years. like explaining it or something stupid.
But that's it. But just all of these things, like what is it? What's it doing? The fact that they can go so far off lore and just go, we're just doing our own thing, and we're just going to make this creature, and it's going to do this, and it's going to, and they've probably got a full backstory for this thing. But we're just
Dave Filoni.
Yeah,
Dave Filoni's got family trees and everything for it.
That's why it's so fucking good, though, isn't it? Because we've all just watched it, all got completely different references from it, but it's clearly made by someone just like us, who like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have clearly just sat in a room and talked like this about what they'd love to see in a Star Wars film or a Star Wars show, and then just gone and fucking made it.
Yeah,
sold it to Disney and then just gone and made it, and it's pulled from all different references. It's pulled from the shows and stuff that they loved or they worked on, or characters that they wrote. Like it's blatant how much love has gone into it and how much of a fan they are of everything that came before, and that they just want to make things better, but not in a way that's just like pandering to the fans, where they try and make everything the way the fans want it, because then you don't fucking please anyone. They've just gone and done what they want to see as a fan, and all of us have just gone, cool, do more of that, because it's fucking mint.
Because it's entertaining. It is genuinely entertaining. Like, they keep us intrigued throughout, and in this one again, there was some dialogue in it, but not a great deal. A lot of it was just Mando trapped and Grogu getting away, and and
I'd wager you got probably about 3 times as much dialogue from Bo-Katan than you got from Mando.
Yeah, and which is again just to do something just through the action and score, and to still keep our focus is just beautiful, and it just shows you don't need it to tell like the story. Like that creature said nothing, and automatically we know nothing, but also everything about it. It just just its movement as well. This thing, it moved far when it wanted to, but most of the time it just kind of skulked about, just almost dormantly, just kind of just doing what it does. Looks at Mando, just taking away its weapons, just preparing him, as it were. And it was just so sinister. It was great. I loved it.
It's like an ambush predator, weren't it? So it's like some forms of like spiders, what was hide, like a trapdoor spider or whatever. Have a little thing in and whack, and then cocoon it, and then bite it so it dissolves its inside, and then start. But again, that's why.
More questions. Like, if this planet has been obsolete for how many years? How long has that thing just been there waiting? You know what I mean? Like, what? It just makes it more freaky. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. You know what I mean? Jesus.
The fact that he was using Beskar, he was using that Mandalorian armor as like a little trap, and stuff like that makes me think how many people have been down there and been murked by it.
We saw the
somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though everyone thought that place was cursed and toxic and stuff like that, people have still been trying it, and people have thought, because they haven't come back, it's toxic. Or is it just the things what are living there are just murking everyone?
Exactly, yeah. That's almost like that's like the second line of the Mandalorian world defense, really, isn't it? You got those the fucking Yeti people, and then you've got that thing once you get past them, and then we haven't even got to the waters yet.
I was saying, and they crack on. Bo nurses him back to health with some soup he's never had, even though he's Mandalorian.
Dog soup.
Cool, yeah, because he didn't grow up on the planet, which we also find out. He grew up on a moon. Sweet. Didn't know that. Nice little nugget. And then, so he says, I'm carrying on, basically. I don't give a fuck that I just nearly died. I'm carrying on to where the living waters, where I was supposed to go. And she goes, right, all right, I'll take you there then. And then they have this bit of dialogue while they're walking down there where, like I say, she's telling him about
the history,
kind of really in a really kind of sarcastic, cynical kind of way, where she's telling
very much, I told you so. Yeah, you're not going to find anything.
The legends of Mandalore, and how her family put a load of emphasis on it, but actually she didn't fucking believe it ever. But she didn't embarrass her family by saying she didn't believe it. She just had no respect for it.
Was this just a dig at Prince Harry and stuff? That's what it felt like to me. Like it felt like a dig at monarchy in as a whole. So like, oh, we're gonna make you feel like patriotism and believing in the past histories is such a big thing of our thingy, but it's just to keep people like corralled into thinking our way.
Yeah, she described it as the theatre.
Yeah,
for the because it was just theatre for the subjects.
It just felt like a big dig at like royalty to me.
Yeah, I feel like the politics of Star Wars has been described as theatre in one of the films before. It might have been Padme or someone like that said that kind of referred to it in that way. So it would make sense because she's from that era.
She did say that's how democracy dies, to thunderous applause. Maybe that's what you think.
Yeah, like I mean, it felt true to that character from where she's come from. And what she's like, we haven't talked. Like, she's not really. She said I like the way she just went. I've known a lot of Jedi. Cool. Yes, you fucking have, mate. Some of them not so nice people. No. Some of them was Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm. Kind of love that cunt, didn't you?
Yeah. His brother-in-law. He was going to be his sister-in-law, mate, but he wouldn't leave the fucking Jedi ways. Like, so, soz, your sister died instead. Like, so they have this bit of dialogue where they walk down to the fucking living waters, and then Mando goes, right, fuck it, starts getting his kit off. I bet Ricky was very excited at this point.
Until she realised it was just his cloak.
So it was just his
cloak. He thought she was getting, like, basically, helmet on, the rest of his kit off. just hanging dong. Yeah. But, like, so, when we get to this part, there is obvious signs, from the first episode with the kid becoming a Mandalorian, having his water like ceremony, and then this one, but they've both been disturbed before it's been completed.
That's really good. I've not actually thought about that, but you're right. Yeah.
Like, so is there something about it just all being kind of bollocks? It's just what's in your heart. It's wild to me. But
I got the opposite from it. Because now I think Bo-Katan's not going to take her helmet off. I think we've seen the last of her now, in terms of her actual
face.
Yeah, because he goes in, he gets dragged down, she goes in, and then she sees this fuck off mythical, like supposedly mythical creature, which
Midas
is like, the thing with the horns that's on all the armor. Which she didn't believe existed, and that's why she was so cynical and so sarcastic about what her dad believed, and the Mandalore, the first fucking Mandalorian. And then she gets out, but obviously because she's had to put her helmet on to go in, she's then out with her helmet on, and she doesn't take it off, and she's literally just bathed in the living waters. So is that her turning point where she goes, actually, this is the way? I understand it now. He wasn't lying. I've just fucking seen it with my own eyes. So I know that that's actually a thing now. And then is the whole arc of the season going to be her eventually getting the Darksaber and like becoming the proper ruler and uniting the Mandalorians again?
Maybe.
I would like that.
I feel like
if that's the way they go.
I feel like the whole thing, because it'd be interesting if that's how they do go, because I think that'd be an interesting way of doing it. Like, just to go to a full believer. I think now she's less confident in what she believed to be right than what she was, especially by the reaction when she gets out of the water. But the whole time when they were there, when to the point where she saved. I mean, I kind of figured, why did you save him? But I think she needs to. I think she's still waiting to defeat him, because she wants that saber. So exactly. Yeah. So when she jumped straight into the water to save his life, it was almost panic mode. And I kind of thought, is that to save his life, or is that because she knows she has to be the one that defeats him in battle? And I'll take you to the waters again. Cocky showboating, but also, does she not want him out of his sight? And it goes back to the point where when she actually left her friend, she goes, "Let's end this once and for all." Helmet in tow. Like, she was ready for it. Was the terminology once and for all. It was, this is it kind of thing. And was she ready to go out there and fight him, like kill him, and claim the saber and then win back her people? And was that what she was deliberating, kind of on the chair, and was this the kind of push? And did she still have that notion? So for me, there's a lot of question marks there about her, because everything she does with a sense of urgency, and from how it ends in episode 2 to how she is in the beginning of this episode, to what she says and how she acts, it kind of sounds like she's still besotted with the same, because that's what she's ever wanted. She's desperately longed for it. Yeah. So she's saving his life just to defeat him in battle and simply get the Darksaber back. And or does she, does she feel warmly towards him? Did she, if he wasn't on this, if he didn't have the Darksaber, she had it, and Grogu came and said, "Oh, he's on Mandalore," would she have gone back? This is, does she just want to rescue him because she knows she has to defeat him in battle to get the saber? Is my query.
Yeah, maybe. But but that's the interesting thing about it, is that it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's almost like when we were saying Game of Thrones before, it's almost like a Jon Snow, Daenerys kind of relationship where there's a respect there, but also she recognizes that potentially that there's a threat there, that he's now could unite him in what she's been trying to do for fucking years, just because he's got this sword.
Yeah. It'd be good if that.
Go on, Nick.
I was going to say it would be good if that happens. So it'd be good if I quite like the idea of her actually going, fuck, like everything that I knew and loved before is like bullshit. Maybe this is the way. And her turning and joining forces and reuniting them as well. That would be really interesting, and kind of rebuilding the kind of the Mandalorians, but like reuniting all the tribes. That would be fun to see. But yeah, like I was just going to say, but I just don't know. This was, again, it's one of the reasons why it's so intrigued. Like, this show it's 2 episodes in, and it's already just led to so many questions. The first episode was a nice, cuddly, warm up, and it was just just going, these are the characters. Yes, Mando's still a badass. Yes, Grogu's still cute. Yes, they're still friends with Carl Weathers. Yes, this is happening. Yes, the pirates are probably going to be, appearing in a few more episodes of this. And being, obstacles along the way. So you're going to get your action. Don't worry, guys. It's all fine. And yes, we can still do it. Here's a spacesuit. And then the second episode has just left me with so many questions. It's a complete episode. And obviously it leaves a cliffhanger at the end. But it's like what you said. We got to Mandalore really quick. And we... but like to whatever that creature was at the bottom, to why say it was poisoned? What was the terminology there? And why keep people off it? Is there more that we don't know? To Bo's intentions. Lots of things.
I genuinely feel like there's more to the Myvasaur issue than what has been let on so far. I feel like the Myvasaur is old canon, like really old canon. Joe. The first Mandalore rode it, where is the obvious job with Boba Fett riding the Rancor in the season of Boba Fett. It made me feel like it's something about that. But if it's the first Mandalore also was the person who had the Darksaber, so they're only going to show yourself to the person with the Darksaber, Joe, who's capable of using that, but now I don't know which one of them two it is.
So what if it's not either of them? What if it ends up being fucking Grogu?
Well, he's a Mandalorian. He's training to be a Mandalorian, so like
there is absolutely a possibility that Grogu is going to end up as the king of
the Mandalorian. Yeah,
as a foundling, as a Mandalorian, able to wield the Force, would completely be able to wield the lightsaber, and could probably talk to that big cunt in the sea.
Yeah.
I just have one issue with Grogu being like a Mandalorian. How would you get the helmet over his ears?
You get ones with big slits in the side, don't you? So
would they just be sticking out of his helmet and just like
or maybe he just changes. Maybe he changes the rhetoric from "this is the way" to like the way this is.
Oh yeah, because Yoda speech. Yeah.
Dickhead.
Right. But
by the way, Alan, Vicky went into the kitchen before and found a little red clog.
Okay.
Something about Jimmy Red Clogs?
Yeah.
Was this like a song or something?
Weird. No, because it was a DE thing again, where one of the girls that we used to work with was very fucking strange, and we had a conversation. I can't think it was like. I can't remember what it was about. It's about fucking, traumatizing stories that you tell each other when you're kids and you don't think they're really scary.
Urban legends.
Yeah. And I'm sure it was something like that. And she said, yeah, like Jimmy Red Clogs. And everyone went, fuck are you talking about, bro? And she was like, no, like Jimmy Red Clogs. And it's like, no, we're normal. We're not from Wigan. We don't know what that is. And then it kind of went on from there. We never really found out what Jimmy Red Clogs was, but it's from Wigan apparently. So if you're from Wigan and you're watching, tell us what it is. But also,
I heard that it's a sex offender what appears in your kitchen.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I didn't Google that. I don't need that shit on my history.
But that's what I heard anyway. And one of them used to nip people's teeth. This is Jimmy Red Clogs and something about teeth.
The Tooth Fairy? Very popular.
No, it's another Wigan thing, not an actual thing.
No, I don't. It was, love it a bit. But there was we laughed a lot. Me and I say we laughed a lot. Me and Vicky laughed a lot.
Just how stupid people are. Yeah.
No, whether or not anyone was involved in that is a different story. But we laughed.
Less everyone laughing, more kind of laughing.
We very much enjoyed the stories of everyone's like youth.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay then. Right. Does anyone we've been going?
If that's accurate, I think that's about it. But I can't. Like I said, it was a long time ago. I'm not 100% sure.
If anyone watching understands or knows the story,
Jimmy Red Clogs.
Please do let us know. And also the Tooth Fairy. That's not a Tooth Fairy. Please also let us know.
Peggy Belt Teeth.
What?
I think like what it was. Peggy Belt Teeth.
Peggy Belt Teeth. That does ring a bell. Peggy, how does it?
Peggy Belt Teeth. I'm sure Vicky's still watching. I'm sure she's going to be like cackling and like howling in hysterics because she just made me sound like a right twat on the internet again.
No, but
she's going to explain it to us.
But genuinely, she's not told you anything.
Interesting.
She's not told you. Sorry, just reading the comment. She's not told you anything that's not accurate. There was definitely a Jimmy Red Clogs. Why the fuck have you got a red clog though? I mean, also aside from that whole conversation,
remember what else I've got in this house?
A constant reminder that you'll always be second best.
I feel like this is just to like mock me in some way. I've not figured it out yet. I'm guessing he's wore red shoes in something, but fuck knows.
Yeah, Peggy Belt Teeth. Yeah, Peggy Belt Teeth is a.
I'm sorry, Jimmy and Peggy just sound like a wonderful old couple that live next door, like church and all that. Yeah,
they sound like murderers to me.
No,
they sound. I mean, there was a Jimmy that we all knew,
and he was noncy as fuck.
And he wasn't the nice guy from next door, you know.
No,
jangle.
Even though he would dispute that.
Anyway. Right, he won't. He's dead.
Yeah.
And good. Fuck that guy. Fucking weird noncy fuck. Like, even if he wasn't a weird noncy fuck, still fuck that guy just for being a weird fuck.
Just grabbing soap on a rope.
This is my favorite channel ever. The thing what I'm thinking. I love it. Right. So let's wrap it up there because we go for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Guys, really looking forward to the final episode of The Last of Us, episode 9, where it all comes to an end, and also the episode 3 of The Mandalorian. It's exciting.
Which are you looking forward to most?
Mando. Yeah.
Weird that, isn't it, after the amount of praise that we've been giving Last of Us?
No, I know, but I think that's... But are you looking forward to Mando the most?
Oh, yeah, but I've not played the game ever, and I've not been like... I'm just a massive nerd for Mandalorians. Like.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, I'm assuming Nick's the same. I'm looking forward to it because I kind of know what's coming. Like, I'm looking forward to watching it, but I know where that story's going, where I don't know where Mando's going at all.
Yeah.
Which is what I fucking love about it. So
same. And it can literally go anywhere, which that's also what I love about it. Yeah.
Uranus.
It could do. It's in space.
Yeah.
In it?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I don't know why you said that. I feel like you're having your Tourette's moment again, Mike. We might need to.
No. You said he could go anywhere he wants, and I said he could go to Uranus.
Oh, okay.
Just because, our jokes are pretty funny.
Yeah.
They are in my head.
Don't you mean our
I've been drinking whiskey.
I was going to say, don't you mean our strokes are pretty cheeky? Okay, right. So that's the red line picture. Thank you very much for watching. Let us know what you think about The Last of Us, how you find it so far, what you think about the Mandalorian, if you're enjoying it. Again, Jimmy Red Clogs and Peggy Bouty. Yeah, let us know what you're thinking about that. Also, what we discussed the issues in regards to black women taking more predominant roles in things for Disney. It's just a money grab, or Alan doesn't believe in it, which is fine. It's like Alan. That's fine, Alan. Don't worry about it, pal. That's fine. Okay, cool. So those of us that do believe in it. Can
people let us know in what ways my wife can disrespect me this week?
Yeah. Any more ways Vicky can disrespect you? That would be really good. Yeah, because we need one.
Starting to sound like McKing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, no, still laughing. Okay. So I can't even remember what else we talked about. I'm so like Alan's going to be that one person's favorite guy, isn't he? In this, Alan did what I think. Put him back on the stream. We want to hear more from Alan. You can have your own.
No, he's still dead.
Oh, mate.
Alan's the only one that says what we're all thinking.
Sometimes you're really fucking funny. Like, really, really, really funny.
Thank you. Right. And anything else that we've discussed today? Alan's retracted me, but anything else we've discussed today, Mike? Yes.
Just remember, the government are all Nazis.